99, 100,000 times a day, someone lights up a Santa Fe.
Why? Because with Santa Fe, your second, third, or fourth cigar of the day smokes just as light as your first. Santa Fe starts with light tobacco.
Why?
Tobacco leaves that are selected for lightness. Cured and aged for lightness. Then rolled firmly to smoke extra light. So if you want your second, third, or fourth cigar of the day to smoke as light as your first, smoke Santa Fe. You'll see why.
100,000 times a day, someone lights up a Santa Fe. $99, 100,000 times a day, someone lights up a Santa Fe.
Why? Because with Santa Fe, your second, third, or fourth cigar of the day smokes just as light as your first. Santa Fe starts with light tobacco. Tobacco leaves that are selected for lightness. Cured and aged for lightness. Then rolled firmly to smoke extra light. So if you want your second, third, or fourth cigar of the day to smoke as light as your first, smoke Santa Fe. You'll see why.
100,000 times a day, someone lights up a Santa Fe.
Strawberry poop gas. I was cooking in the backyard, feeling like a pro. Tossed in some grass clipping magic, let that compost glow. Dog poop, cat poop, nature stew. Bubble, bubble, what's that do? Smells so wrong but feels so right. Pink smoke rising in the moonlight. Neighbors yelling, what's that blast? Too late, it's cooking fast. Hailed strawberry poop gas, blasting from the grass. Bubble and sizzle, it's science class. One big burp and the backyard blue. Now we're living next to Mount Doo-Doo. Built a grill from garbage cans, hooked it up with rubber bands. Dog barked once, the cat took flight, then boom, the sky turned brown and bright. It rumbled, it tumbled, it splattered the fence. A poop volcano makes no sense. Sticky strawberries rain from the sky. Compost cooking till the day I die. Filled strawberry poop gas, wild and crass. Flaming hot signs from the neighbor's grass. When it popped, we all went ooh, but dang, it smelled like barbecue too. So if you're brave and slightly nuts, mix that poop with grass and guts. Light it up and step way back. You might just launch your own snack shack. Bill strawberry poop gas, cooking class.
Okay. Up. There we go. I have cured the little Milton adjusted camera. Let's see if it works. Okay. Up. There we go. I have cured the little Milton adjusted camera. All right. So let's make sure that everything is functioning correctly, and I believe it is. So I want to welcome everyone to Live at 8 with Rick. I'm sure that you've seen me many, many times before, but hey, once in a while, we may get somebody who's new, who has never been in the quack zone before. And this is the place where you're going to get a unique YouTube experience. There are a lot of more popular podcasters that you'll see out there. They have the virtual backgrounds. They have the minimalist design. They have the flashy lights and all the other effects. They have the banners going across the screen, maybe the little sidebar, whatever. But then you come to my live stream, and it feels like you've gone back to the 1950s, 60s, or 70s, and you've turned on your television to your local channel, and this quack that no one's ever heard of is over here talking about a whole lot of nothing. And as you know, I'm on some of the best YouTube podcasts and shows. We have very interesting people. We have my friend Russ Mitchell, who is just all about having fun and not about learning. And then there are other channels, such as, well, most of the ones that we watch, where they like to teach you something. And that's a good thing. And I'm going to teach you some things as well. But anyway, let me go over here and switch scenes and make sure that, okay, the camera is a little high thanks to Milton, so we will adjust that. And there we go. And of course it is blurry, so let me switch scenes again. Okay, and then I'll switch back. And it's still blurry. Okay, maybe we have some paw prints, so we might have to adjust that with a little bit of spray. All right. And let me get a... Where'd my towel go? Oh, wow. Okay, let's see here. Little adjustment. All right. There we go. And it's still blurry, so we'll do another switch to that one, and we'll switch back. And there we go. That is somewhat acceptable. Now, obviously, we're not talking about the Pretty Boy channel over here. We're talking about a rather old and rather quacked version. You know, it's like Kilt says, the carnivore Mr. Rogers, and that's me. So anyway, enough about me, because I'm not trying to direct attention to myself. That's not the way that I believe. I guess I'm kind of like the Amish in that way. I direct the attention to you, my viewers, the people that take your valuable time and participate in these live streams. And I really appreciate every one of you. And you notice that I always, and I mean always, make the effort to get to every single comment. This is one thing that is unique about my live stream. And there is no way in the world that I'm going to ignore my friends. The reason I went on YouTube is very simple. It was to meet people. And that's exactly what I've been able to do, starting as of last year and this year. This year, I've gotten to meet people twice to 2 great meetups. And again, never asked to be there, but I was invited there, and I really appreciate that, both with Kilts and Mitch. So, and I'm sure that maybe one of you are listening, and I hope that you are, and I hope that you will comment. Let me know. Mitch generally likes to come in and comment, and I really appreciate that. It's great to be associated with such an incredible group of people. We have mostly us older people, the over 40s, but we have a few younger people in here too. And I hope that more younger people will look at our lifestyle and say, you know what? Maybe it's not the coolest way of living, but it is unique. And you can be happy, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money, and it's very enjoyable. It's better than the alternative. And the alternative leads you straight to the nursing home. We don't want to go to the nursing home. We want to go to the cemetery. That's where we want to go. So we want to have the heart attack diet. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. Okay. That way the comments don't cover my face. Although I'm sure any of the vegans that are watching are probably thinking, you know, maybe he should just put the comment right over his face and we don't have to look at him. So our first comment, now it looks like YouTube probably deleted some, because I know that usually Feral Grandma will be the first. But John Together Strong is here. I'll wait it out with you, Wendy. So YouTube must have deleted it, and that's why I put, let's see how many comments remain tomorrow. YouTube loves to delete comments. I really don't know why they do that. I guess maybe they're trying to help me out somehow and destroy my participation. I don't know what it is, but hey, what can I say? Uh-oh, I clicked the wrong. I think the problem I'm having is actually with the mouse or something hardware related, because this thing has gotten super touchy. It might be the keyboard is defective. I don't know. I may have fallen on the floor one too many times, thanks to Milton. Anyone, there's the feral grandma, anyone opening badly dubbed Chinese zombie movies? They suck, but on the plus side, sometimes I doze off. No, haven't seen that. But then again, and Michael Pregler says, I see my comment about Max isn't on the comments section. Shocker. I would like to get to the bottom of this with YouTube. So if you did make a comment in my comments section, feel free to make the same comment here in the live stream, and let's see if it goes through. And we can discuss it a little bit, because that may be one of the things that I want to discuss today. And United Carnivore, greetings from Tampa Bay. Well, Mike, we're glad to see you here, as always. And I made my comment as well. And again, okay, there we go. And Mike Seeley Sr., good morning, Rick and everyone from beautiful Melbourne, Florida. Well, good morning from not so beautiful Miami, Florida, although it's not Miami's fault. It's the developer's fault. And look who else is here. There we go. My dude, Rick, let's get this show rolling. Yes, man, let's do so. And again, this is one of our newer carnivore YouTubers. If you haven't viewed his channel, what are you waiting for? This is someone that has the same good attitude that a lot of us do. We're enjoying our journey in the carnivore lifestyle, and we're eager to share it with others because we know what it can do. But we'll see. And there's Josephine Beefwoman. I see you've added that to your name. Josephine Cowley. Howdy, Quackman, Rick, and Quackers. Well, howdy. Good to see you, as always. And let's see. We have not 20C. I'm not sure. That must be your temperature. Good morning, Sir Quack and all Quackers on the last Saturday of March, 2026. Well, Brian, good morning to you in return. And Lady June says hello to everyone. And I say hello in return. And Bride's Biscuit, good morning, Rick and family. Well, man, good morning. Glad that you are here as always. Good Saturday morning, Rick Milton, and all you Quackers out there. Well, Smoothie 420 or 420, I say good morning, good Saturday morning. It's always a good Saturday when I'm here live with my friends. Okay, and I got the itchy nose again, thanks to Milton, because what you didn't see before I got online, Milton was over here being extra friendly. He was rubbing his tail in my face, and now I've got cat hairs trapped in my nose. All right, and we have a good morning to Brian from Michael Pregler. Let me see here. Yep. And that's good. I like seeing that. And there's Chuck. Good morning, Rick and Quackers. Chuck from Clearwater, Florida. Well, good to see you again. It's been a few weeks since we met in person, but it's good to see that you're here every week. And speaking of our friends, I hear accordions. Could it be Pretzel Pete? Yes, it is. And I'm glad to see you here. I guess you come in before work, and that's great. Glad to see you here. And if you don't know Pretzel Pete, he doesn't actually eat pretzels. It's just a joke. I said good evening yesterday, but I was not the first comment. Okay. This YouTube always plays this game. I don't know why. Miss Kitty looks going, yeah, she does. And sadly, I wasn't able to get her any food yesterday when I went to Aldi. I don't have a lot of meat to give the cat. She won't eat the pork and she won't eat the raw chicken. So I've had to get her that cat food, but I wasn't able to get it, but that's okay. Favorite car of all time was Mustang Fastback 428 Super Cobra Jet. I remember those. But me, I'm the Mopar man. My favorite car is a 1969 Dodge Charger with a 440, and I have a couple of them. I never did get the Hemi because by the time I was looking for cars, they were already becoming somewhat rare. Milton is telling you that you belong to him. Yes, I know that quite well. And Milton is really funny. He pulled out my camera cord this morning. He pulled out my microphone. But as you can see, I have sound because I always check before I go online. Now, I also made a few adjustments to the video. And speaking of our celebrity carnivores, there's Lou Bass 8785, Morning Rick, Morning Chatters. Good morning. If you don't know who he is, look back a few weeks when we had the live StreamYard and he came in and explained his situation. He's a lot like me and been carnivore for a while. 62, looks like 45. Another great example, and I hope to see more of you. I'm glad that you have continued to follow my live stream. And Brian Dish says, Chuck and Bike, one of mine was a 428 Cobra. And I've caught up with the comments. Well, I thought I did. When I was in high school, I had a 69 COTA COTA with a 440 wedge on a nice car. I don't know what that is. Let's see. CUDA, there we go. Yes, CUDA. That was the high-end version, well, the high-performance version of the Barracuda. Starting in 1970, they started calling it CUDA. Although some of the 69s, they had the Formula S Barracuda, and then they started using that name CUDA in 70. That's when they did it. No growth occurs without being uncomfortable. The carnivore lifestyle gave me the courage to go against the grain in the nefarious establishment. The negatives were my fuel to reach the summit. Well, that is good to know. And again, I think the carnivore diet, and I know what happened to me, I became very suspicious and very critical of the establishment. And I think a lot of it was from the fact that I was told for so long that fruits and vegetables and plants were healthy, the meat was unhealthy, meat would cause cancer and heart disease and all these other things. And if you didn't eat your fruits and vegetables, you would get very sick. But I found out that I actually got less sick. I had more energy. I grew taller and I got stronger, even though I remained as skinny as a toothpick, which I am to this day. People feel sorry for me when they see me. This poor, 30-year-old vegan, he's over there trying to lift up a refrigerator by himself. And of course, they're in shock when I carry mini fridges out like this, walking down the stairs. Oh, can I help you? Everybody wants to help, but every time somebody tries to help, they end up causing a disaster. One time I was moving a table and I had some young guy, I'll help you. So we start moving this table and he tripped. And I was the one walking backwards. So almost took me down with him. But again, it's important to understand this. Now I finally caught up with the comments. Sometimes they take a while to come in. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on this week. I'm sure that most of us are regular viewers of Dr. Kiltz's channel. And he has a wide variety of guests. Now, yesterday, Dr. Kiltz, he had a very interesting talk with one of these other doctors that Bart Kay had been destroying in the past. And they were saying something about carnivore diet causing your body to become acid and dissolve your bones and all this other nonsense. And I was laughing. And I could see that, Dr. Kiltz, he's getting a laugh out of it too. But what I like about Kiltz is that unlike some people, especially in the vegan community, that they're set in their ways, that plant-based is it. There's nothing else except for plant-based. Animal-based is not even an option. And carnivore is definitely not an option. But this guy was talking about eating some potatoes or some other veggie crap along with the carnivore diet to improve your health. Okay. But again, as you know, I'm not against people eating fruits and vegetables. It does not offend me in any way. I have no trouble growing and distributing fruits and vegetables to my friends because I don't think that fruits and vegetables are trying to kill everybody. Some people have a tolerance to them, and like my ex-vegan friend, I think some people have adapted to them, and when they try to go without fruits and vegetables, they get severe constipation, they get all kinds of issues. My friend, he was diarrhea and constipation and tired and had no energy, couldn't think straight. his situation got worse when he went from the vegan diet to the carnivore diet. But then he went to sort of a mixed, still carnivore diet. Well, maybe not carnivore because only 50% meat. You got meat, eggs, some dairy, some vegetables and fruits, and did really, really well on that. And is still doing better. Actually, if I could just get him to come online with me, but he won't do it because he's got friends that are vegans. And, you know, a lot of the vegans are very much, it's like a cult. They worship the plant-based lifestyle, and they could never think about adding animal-based foods. I also saw another video from Dr. Sean Baker, who was talking about dementia risk and how dementia risk increases with the amount of plant material that you eat. And even vegetarians, who are generally healthier than the average population, seem to have a higher risk of mental issues. So that's pretty interesting, I have to admit. Very interesting to me. Now, let me go back to see if the comments, I don't see any comments coming in. Oh, there we go. They are coming in. All right. Oh, they all came in. I noticed that sometimes they tend to get backed up. I've seen this with people on StreamYard. Oh, and Chuck built a 69 440 Max Wedge engine last November. I didn't even know they had Max Wedge in 69. I thought that was an early 60s thing, but hey, I learned something new every day. And Rick, there we go. How can I send you an invite to my show? Long overdue. Why is this not showing up? Come on. There we go. All you have to do is go to my YouTube page, look for my email address, bobcatforhome@gmail.com, or you can simply send me a text message to my phone number, which is on every one of my live chats, or you can even call me, which is perfectly fine. You can call me at any time. If I'm home, I will answer. If I'm away from home and I have Wi-Fi, I will answer as well. But I don't have cell phone service, so I'm not always reachable, which is kind of a good thing. Now, if anyone does call in, you have to realize that there is a menu that's in there that's designed to block all of these calls. Now, I get sales calls from time to time, although I have reduced a lot of them. I get customer calls, and I don't want to mix up. This has happened more than once. If I turn the system off, I've had customers call in and they end up on the air. So I went ahead and I turned the menu back on. So if anyone does call in the number, if you want to reach me, you have to push the number 7 for Rick, and then it will go to my cordless phone, which has a caller ID. My rotary phone does not have a caller ID, as you probably know. Let me see. Anyway, the other one fell down. But everybody knows what a rotary phone looks like. It does not have a display on it. But yes, and again, I always say yes to anyone in the carnivore community who asks to interview me. Sadly, some of the carnivore people, when they become popular and they get associated with what I call the closed carnivore community, they will distance themselves from me because I don't think they want people to realize that this lifestyle is sort of, it's an alternative lifestyle. And I'm not talking about the alternative lifestyle that a certain group of people talk about. This is the real alternative lifestyle. You are saying no to most of the system. All those advertisements they give you for snacks and drinks and all that, all those medications that they're getting you to go on, trying to lose weight using an injection, you're just saying, no, I'm going to take the alternative route. I'm going to go that way. Everybody else can go that way. But especially some of these younger carnivore influencers, they want to be trendy. They want to be looked to as some kind of guru. So having someone like me as one of their interviews evidently will detract from this message. So if you're going to charge people a lot of money to tell them a bunch of nonsense, then you don't want to be associated with me. Now, on the other hand, there's a lot of carnivore coaches out there, people that have trained themselves or have used courses that other people offer to get knowledge, and knowledge not only about the carnivore lifestyle, but also about how to conduct business, how to avoid liability, and all the other things that are important. And those people, they're not the scammers. They can charge whatever they want, but they're very open about it. Generally, they will tell you, if you want my services, I'll give you a free initial consultation, and then we can decide if we can work with each other. Those are the real ones. Those are the ones that can help you. And again, people say, well, Rick, what do you think about the carnivore coaches? What would you... I said, look, I've been coaching people all my life, basically. When a customer calls me, they tell me, my air conditioner doesn't work. My car's making a funny noise. My Bobcat is leaking oil. I've got this problem or that problem. I smell gas in my kitchen. All these things. My toilet has to be flushed 3 times to go down. I will ask them, well, the noise you hear in your car, does it happen when you're on the highway? Does it happen in the city? Does it make a different noise when you go around a corner? Yeah, I hear a clicking noise when I go around the corner. Okay, that's probably a CV joint. And then you start talking to people, you give them all these ideas on what to look for, and then you come to a conclusion, well, we need to do this. Or you might tell the customer, look, I can't deal with that. I have somebody calling me. My lights are flickering in the living room. And you talk to them. Say, okay, I'm going to come out. You come out, you got your infrared thermometer, you got your voltmeter, you got your stethoscope, and you go around the house, and you're trying to see, maybe with the infrared camera, are there any hot spots? You put your stethoscope on the light switch or the outlet and you listen for crackling. You go to the breaker box, or if you're like me, you got a fuse box. You feel around for hot spots, take the cover off, and then you see burnt wires. You say, okay, well, we can fix it for now, but I'm going to have to schedule you in for this. Maybe you need your panel replaced. If maybe you live in, let's say, a townhouse community. And I go, well, I can't do this because you'll have to get a licensed electrician over here, get a building permit, get them to turn this off, and go through the whole process. But if you're the guy that's living in a house out in Homestead, you're way out, you look at it and said, that panel's got to be replaced. And yeah, I can do that, no problem. You go outside with a couple of snips and cut the wires coming in the house, and change that panel out. Put a couple of jumpers on the meter in case they send a signal so it doesn't seem like the power went off. Do all the work. At the end of the day, job's done. You get paid. No problem, no permit, no nothing. Job is done. Customer's satisfied. And you take them through the whole process. Look, I did this, and this. But again, the coaching process involves actual work being done. Now, when you have scammers will typically have some kind of group where they want you to pay a monthly fee, and then they promise things that they may or may not deliver. That it's like an MLM. Now MLM in itself is not a totally bad thing. One of our carnivore friends, Barkay, he's got an MLM going with algae supplements. And they're overpriced, in my opinion, but they're not really a scam because some people take them. I can tell you 3 people that swear by them: semi-retired Bob, David DC, and Barkay himself. They swear by the effects that they've had. So, again, these are products that they use, they believe in, and they are entitled to sell it for whatever price they want. But the thing that I try to tell people is you need to know what you're getting. If you're making promises like, give me this money and I can help you be healthy, or give me this money and you'll make $1 million. You'll be like Tony Robbins, the ultimate scammer that does it legally. The guy, blah, 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 blah. You need positive attitude, do this and that. No, send me your money. 99% of the people send money and get nothing in return. Maybe 1% succeed. And then that 1% with the survivorship bias, they go out there and they do the same thing. The same old self-help crap. But anyway, that's my opinion, as you know. So anyone that falls into those categories is going to see me as a threat and avoid me. But on the other hand, the new carnivores, the sincere people, they like me. I'm one of those people that you may hate me at first, but once you get to know me, you may hate me more, or you may like me. And it says a lot about your character because all the people I know with good character, they really seem to like me. Question, I had an old neighbor tell me, Florida has not taxes on house with homestead. That is not true. Florida does tax homestead homes, but they give you $50,000 off the value. But in Florida, the average home value is $400,000, so they'll only tax you on $350,000. Now, if you were one of the lucky people that bought a house when it was dirt cheap, they can only raise your taxes 2% a year. But of course, you would have had to buy it a long time ago. This house used to be $1,700 a year, and they raised it to over $6,000 a year because once it went to me, they reassessed it. And I've kept the place as dumpy as possible. I can only imagine what the idiots who just bought down the street for $700,000-800,000, how much taxes they're paying. What a bunch of dummies, I'll tell you. There we go. Good morning, Rick and friends. Glad to see someone else working this morning other than me. Well, Mitch, you'll be working later, although I think it'll be more of a social thing because it's a panel. But yes, Mitch, what do you tell everybody? Take the rest of the day off and eat meat. And I say the same thing. Take your day. Well, I mean, you're not going to take the rest of the day off, honestly, but you can take the morning off and you can listen in, and that's great. And look, everybody likes Mitch. Brian, Michael Pregler, Mitch is in the house. Coach Angela Mullins. Oh, I enjoyed your interview, by the way. Good morning, Rick. And now, there we go. Okay. So that's really good. Let's see. All right. Wow. A lot of comments. Thank you so much for taking your time and commenting. Okay. Why is this not? I've got some kind of hardware issue. I need you on the pod for an interview like a lion needs a deer. Well, Mitch is selective about his interviews, but I think if you're nice to him, you may get the benefit. I had the pleasure of being interviewed by Mitch, but it wasn't really an interview. It was more of a social thing. And Peter is happy to see Mitch as always. And again, when we were together, Peter and both the Seeleys and Chuck and Barry Simon, we had a really good time at Mitch's meetup. And the great thing about Mitch's meetup is that you don't have to pay an admission. You just pay for your meal. Although they were nice enough to pay for mine. I never asked for anything, but they did it. It was a really great experience. And anyone that's in the area, the next time Mitch has a meetup, I would recommend going. Mitch is a great man, and so are the rest of our friends. I can't think of anyone that was there that I didn't like. So that's a really good thing. Working tonight until 9. I won't be able to, but watching. Yeah. And Peter's definitely a hard worker. He's a go-getter. You would say, well, someone who's 62 wouldn't be able to get a job. Well, he got a job. A smart guy. I know he's a good salesman. I can tell the type. There we go. Buongiorno. Yes. That sounds like a dangerous invitation, Dan. Yeah, well, it's up to you. Happy Saturday. Vegetarians have a high risk of veganism. Yes, they do. I'm the deer in this scenario. There we go. Okay, we have a question. How is the truck repair and engine replacement coming? Any update on the ETA to get it running? Well, I was doing pretty good, but then I got these little side jobs, and you know me. I never say no to the side jobs unless they're really difficult and far away. So I had to fire up the van. Of course, I almost got stuck again. Smart me, though. I kept my portable generator with me. My batteries in the van are not great, and I have one of those little portable generators that, like 20 years ago, was sold for $99 through the Sportsman's catalog. I've used that thing so much. It has a built-in battery charger port that you clamp on there. And, yeah, it got me running, so we're still going. And we have a good morning to Mitch from Robbie Autry. And, by the way, who was the first? I don't know. Whoever was the first today, congratulations. Rick will be working on the truck all day, a week, a month. Well, I do what I can. I did work on it a bit. There's Larry Ryan, 6173. Good morning, Rick, all the carnivore family. Well, good morning. Good morning, Rick, Miss Kitty, and Quacks. Listening mode is only 5 a.m. here. Well, I'm glad that you are listening. Everybody counts. Okay, so we have some hellos. Peter says, come on. Stupid thing. What is wrong with this? Maybe it's just the mouse. I think Milton must have broken it because everything is gone. What is going on here? Come on. Somehow, what is going on with this thing? Okay. I seem to have highlighted all of them at once. I don't know what is going on here. All right. There we go. And we have a good morning to Rick and Milton. Quack, quack, quack. Yes, this is quack time. And speaking of our friends, there's Jonathan, Carnivore Muscle. If you're not watching his channel, he'll get you. All right. Hello, Chuck. And I got a hello to Jonathan. There we go. Can hear you. Okay. I hope that you can hear me. That's good. All right. Let's see. Jonathan, there we go. And I'm going to hit the shower. I'll be listening. I do that a lot. Or when I'm in the tub with the rubber duckies. Probably some picture that nobody would ever want to see. Still loving your new job. The 6 best doctors of the world. Sun, rest, nutrition, self-esteem, exercise. Exercise is spelled wrong, but that's okay. And a great group of carnivore friends. And I agree 100%. That's a really good thing. I've been alive over too many decades, watching countless products and supplements that did nothing for protein. Yes, most of the stuff is overrated. It's like drinking green powder. And what you'll notice, my rule is simple. If you see a product promoted by many YouTubers, it's overpriced and ineffective. It's that simple. That's the way it is. It's just the nature of the beast. The only way that you can pay people a lot of money to promote your product is if your product has to be promoted, because a good product sells itself. And I believe that. If you produce something good, you don't even have to advertise it. You just have to let people know. Little by little, they'll buy it. But when these products are promoted, whatever. As far as vegetables, I mostly avoid them because I don't like them. Yeah. But occasionally I'll have pickle or some sauerkraut with my meal. And that's beneficial, too, I know for me. I like you, Rick. You're a real legit boss. Well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. So, let's see. Okay. It seems to be working now. It's going great so far. Very busy, long hours, but I love it. Now, he loves his job. Hi, Rick from Slovenia. What's today for lunch? That's a very good question because my refrigerator is empty. So I'll have to go to the freezer. Now, on the good side, I'm going to be helping my friend move probably today and or tomorrow. And he says he killed an iguana. So maybe when I go there, we will cook iguana for lunch. That's a possibility. Or I may hit the freezer. I do have some pork thawing in the 1977 Kenmore refrigerator. So I may have pork for lunch. Probably pork. And I haven't had any sauerkraut in a while. I may have some sauerkraut with it because I've eaten so much pork and chicken lately. I want to try to get that sauerkraut in there to try to compensate for the lack of beef. I've cut way back on beef. Remember, I used to eat at least 2 pounds of beef per day. Now I may eat that in a week. So I'm getting away from beef. It's just way too expensive, and I think it's going to get harder to get. Now, if I move to a rural area, I might even be able to have some deer meat instead, especially where my lot is. Get some of that fresh roadkill, start stocking the freezer. And Don Schonger, good morning. Just listening going down the road. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate that. Maybe I know love it. Yes. We have a good morning here. And testing my laptop. Nice. And let's see. All right. Yep. That's me. Google seems to be breaking everything lately. Yeah, that's what happens when they start updating this stuff. I agree. Carnivore is an alternative lifestyle, but it's the best lifestyle. Yes, it is, especially for us older guys. What size shirt do you wear? I got something for you. I wear large. My shirts are all large. In fact, I guess the label on this one is gone, but I wear large. And look, Rockin' Coach Amy. We were just talking about coaching. There we go. Morning, Rick and friends. Well, good morning, Amy. We're glad to see you. So we got Amy, Angela Mullins. There's going to be a lot of them. Aha! And here's one of our hardcore carnivores, Polish Mike, 1993. Carnivore muscle is the best quality of muscle you can have. And it's good as YouTuber also. Yes, it is. And I know that you and Jonathan know each other very well. Of course, I know Jonathan. I remember when he started putting videos on YouTube. So that was good. I've known Jonathan for years now. And Jonathan was one of the early people to interview me. In fact, my very first interview was with the Joey Schwartz kid who got away from carnivore and deleted most of his videos. And then after that, I think the second one was Bart K. Bart K somehow found out about me and decided to interview me. And through the Bart K channel, which I still follow, I met Jonathan. And then Jonathan and I became online friends, and we're online friends to this day. And I'm glad that Jonathan has actually met himself a girlfriend, so he has someone that he can spend time with and encourage him, so he doesn't feel like he's just, suffering for no reason. And she's super nice and has a great personality, and I think they're getting along quite well. In fact, I think he said they were swimming together, so this is a good thing. I like seeing that. You don't want people to be by themselves and forgotten and have to suffer alone. That's not something that we really want to see. But again, really appreciate. Yep. And live workout, that's another idea. That's right. Okay. I saw the interview you did with Liz. Okay, you must be talking to me. Yes. Liz used to be called Carnivore Science, now called Black Box Warning. Adds a little bit of sense of humor, as does Dave Mack, which I guess the two of them are friends because they have sort of a interview. I forget if it's today or tomorrow or whatever, but they do tend to collaborate. I noticed that Dave Mack has been doing a lot more collaborations. I think by now he may be running out of people to interview. I've seen him collaborate with several other YouTubers. And of course, his usual collaboration is with semi-retired Bob, who I haven't seen make comments in my live stream, but he may be listening. And Bob was one of the ones that inspired me to do the outdoor videos, although it was Jonathan that inspired me to do ride-in talks. Jonathan seemed to like the ride-in talks. I did one or two just because I figured it'd be a good time to make a video, and he seemed to like them. So I try to do at least 3 ride-in talks per week, although sometimes, I think this week I only did 2. But the week's not over, so maybe, well, tomorrow is supposed to rain, but maybe later today, although, like I said, I may be helping my friend move. But if I am on the bike, I'll make another ride and talk. I try to do 3 outdoor videos. I did 1 in my yard. I did 2 rides. So I try to do 3 outdoor videos a week just so that everyone can see. I even did a couple of walk-in talks. I did 1 this month. And I've gone, see, my last walk-in talk, I think I walked 3 miles. And it's interesting because I was watching Bob, the other Bob, Butter Bob, with his son doing a walk and talk. That was really nice. And again, he's not alone. He's got his son and he's got friends. So he's back on the carnivore journey, losing weight, feeling good. And I think all of us appreciate Butter Bob. And by the way, speaking of carnivore influencers, guess who's going to be with Butter Bob tomorrow? That's right, Carrie Mann of Homestead How. I hope that now that he's finished the movie, Carrie has got the time to relax, spend more time with his family, and enjoy life. because I'm sure that Healing Humanity wore him out. All that traveling, all those different people to meet, and the editing and the stress of getting it done. Now he can relax. And when the movie does come out and we get to see it, we can send our input back to him and see what we think about it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before somebody sends it to me, and I will give my honest opinion. It may be well accepted, or it may cause me to make more enemies. I don't know. But we'll find out what happens. I don't censor what I feel. I tell you exactly what I feel. We have good mornings. I'm listening, only 5-ish in here. There we go. All right. So we have a little bit of Polish going there. I don't see Jonathan. Is he here? Well, he was here. There we go. I didn't know you were Polish. I figured he was Italian, but I could be wrong. All right. When is Miss Kitty due date for kittens? I don't know. Could Milton be daddy? Yes. They were hanging out when Milton was roaming the yard. In fact, I discovered her when Milton and her were walking around with each other. Now, Milton has been fixed. So if I see some black kittens, then I know that Milton was involved. There's also a white and orange cat that roam the neighborhood. And they will be cute. I do have a friend that said that his girlfriend wants a cat, and somebody else I know might want kittens. So I decided not to have the kittens destroyed, but to let her produce the kittens, and then we can give the kittens away, and then I'll get her fixed. We'll take her to the cat network, and we'll get her fixed. She's real friendly. I think she would make a good house pet. I'm sure Milton would get used to her. Either that or they'd be one heck of a cat fight. She's not a fighter like Milton. Milton's an aggressive kitty. There's Aaron. Hello. I didn't see you earlier. I must have missed you. There we go. All right, and Annabella is here. Awesome. I think Milton was already fixed. Pregnant. It's hard to say because it's not really been 3 months yet, so it is possible. It is possible. Oh. Aha! We have a call.
Call from 19175321202.
Oh well. Why is my phone not working? Oh, that's not good. It seems like my phone, his system has not turned on. Well, that's weird. Oh well. Maybe Milton's been playing with a timer. If you did call in, give it a little more time because for some reason the phone system hasn't turned on. Oh well. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Oh wow. Okay. We have 60 people watching. I think we're getting closer and closer to being sort of a mainstream thing, and I'm really happy that everybody has been taking their time out to watch my channel. Now, obviously, I'm not the prettiest, and I'm not the most articulate, the most intelligent, and definitely not the most successful of the YouTubers. But on the other hand, compared to a lot of the podcasters, I would rate myself in the top 80% because I'm one of the few people that can maintain a coherent conversation for a long time. I don't really get upset that often. And I have some really great chatters. And again, you are the people that make this live stream so good. I just keep seeing the same great people over and over again and a few new people every now and then. So that's awesome. I'm doing well and drinking coffee now after my... Okay, there we are. And speaking of coffee, with that last thing that Dr. Kiltz was doing, there was even a mention of coffee being beneficial. And I'm going to tell you a little something about coffee when it comes to my mother, because I think coffee was one of the things that helped her live longer. It's really amazing how when my mom was not drinking coffee, she was not anywhere near as happy. The coffee got her going in the morning. It stimulated her appetite. It actually helped her sleep a little bit better at night. So I think for some people, coffee is just It's sort of like a great medicine. And I can't stand coffee. I find it disgusting. But I know a lot of people, they love coffee. I don't like to drink anything hot. I don't like tea. I don't like coffee. I don't like the cocoa crap. I like things that are cold. I like things that are clear and that don't fizz. So plain old water with ice floating in it. This is me. I've had a lot of girls call me a cold fish, so this is perfect. I hope Milton is a daddy. Well, cats are pregnant for 63 days. Well, that means that Miss Kitty will probably be, let's see, Milton got fixed at the end of January, end of February, end of March. Hard to say. We'll see. She's very plump. The kittens will be out any time now. Now, on the other hand, I don't have any cat food for her. I'm going to look around and see if that other meat is thawed out. Let's see. Milton fixed more or less 62 days ago. That's the question. The phone line works, but the phone system seems to be turned off. I'm going to, when it comes on, I haven't seen it come up yet. I may have to take a break, go into the storage room, and tinker around. We may have had some kind of power outage or something and it got reset, but I will check that. Yeah, let me see. Okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. Meanwhile, I'll catch up with the comments. There we are. Oh. Male cats are still fertile for about 4 weeks after neuter. That could explain why when she came in the house, he went after her. That's interesting. Because Milton did seem to be very, she got super scared because Milton got a hold of her. I don't know what Milton did, but we'll see. We'll see. If there's black kittens, then we know that Milton definitely had an effect. You are very popular, Rick, and interesting. Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. And Annabella Redwood, we love you, Rick. You deserve success. We all deserve success. I don't know any of us that don't. I don't think we're outside long enough. Well, I didn't let him outside, but you see, Milton would sneak out. Milton is very, very sneaky. I had to put a second door in the front of the house. And when did Dr. Kiltz, I'm trying to think, when Dr. Kiltz had the meetup, I didn't have the door in place. And he got out several times. Let's see. I put the door in after the Dr. Kiltz meetup. That was in February. It was the second week of February. So Milton did get to her at that time. And I put the door up. It's probably been about a month and a half. So it's within that range. It is possible that Milton mated with Miss Kitty. But we'll see when the kittens come out. It's been a long time since I've seen kittens. Kittens are extremely cute. So we'll see. I don't know why my phone system hasn't come on. 9 lives. Okay. 63 days times 9 lives. This is straight up cat. So you never know. That is true. I will never give up coffee, no matter how much people shame me. You don't have to. I have never seen any credible evidence. And the thing about this, people criticize coffee. I've known a lot of people drank coffee. They lived into their 90s. In fact, my friend's mother, she lived to 113. She drank coffee every single day of her life. At least 2 cups of coffee. It was coffee, and it wasn't even the greatest coffee. Sometimes it was at Maxwell House instant crap, but always coffee. So, again, is it ideal for most people? Probably not. But does it hurt most people? Absolutely not. with all the people that I know that have drank coffee and enjoy their coffee, I don't really see that many. I don't see people dropping dead from coffee. Do you? I mean, think about it. When we were kids, my dad is from Cuba, and the Cubans, they love their coffee, and they drink what we call Cuban rocket fuel, which is in a nasty aluminum pot. I have one of those things floating around. I'll have to show you. Called a mocha pot. And then they boil the coffee in there. It's like a percolator. It's like motor oil. They have these little tiny plastic cups they drink it out of. They call it cafecito. It's nasty, nasty. And they live old, old grandfather. He drank his Cuban coffee and smoked the big fat cigars until he died at 94. So you tell me. And speaking of big fat cigars, I was thinking about some other personality. You know how much I hate the Federal Reserve. Well, there is one Federal Reserve chairman that I do have a little respect for, and his name is Paul Volcker, otherwise known as Tall Paul. I think he was about 6'5" or 6'6", and guess what he did all the time? He smoked a cigar all the time. And old Volcker, how long did he live? 60, 70? Nope. He lived to 92. He died of prostate cancer. At least that's what they say. He was overweight. Never worked out. Up. Looks like something was going on here. Anyway, why is my phone system not on yet? Let me see. Up. Okay. Hello. It doesn't come up. What is this? Oh, unbelievable. Huh. Okay. I think it's probably on the old, I don't know. Give it a few more minutes. The system will come up and it'll work. But it seems like there's definitely some problem with the phone system. Okay. Well, I'm glad that Peter likes my live stream. And there we go. Yep. All right. Let's keep this going. Coffee is calming. Well, there you go. Coffee is my supplement. There we go. Coffee is life. There we are. God is so good. I believe he's got the perfect home for me. I believe the same thing. It's only a matter of time before I find the right place to go to. And the comments just updated, and there's a lot of them there. I love my coffee. Yes. I drink tea. It is very calming. My mother also liked tea. They used to give me tea when I was sick. I used to get headaches all the time, so I got chamomile tea. I don't like the taste of it, but it did take the headaches away. And the other thing that would get rid of the headaches, believe it or not, you put tobacco leaves on your skin, and it takes the headaches away. Thankfully, since I've been carnivore, I don't get those headaches anymore unless I'm getting a flu. That's usually my first sign. Fatty Coffee Deluxe, a signature patty concoction level. There you go. I need to have one of those again, Peter. They are so good. Yes. Tea is good also. Please keep drinking the coffee. Up. Women's prisons in Indiana are full already. There we are. One last shot. There we go. I got to figure out what is wrong with this. I need to take some time out and adjust my technology. I'm going to be replacing this with the other computer. I haven't had the time. Every time that I take some time out, somebody calls me for a little side job. What can you do? Okay, there we go. Kittens are adorable. Yes, they are. They go mew, mew, and they're little tiny things. And you realize this cute little thing is going to turn into a menace, just like mine, in about a few months. They destroy everything. I know Peter had to back off. It's so good, yeah. I don't believe we deserve anything. I believe we earned everything. Well, we deserve to be left alone and not to be taken advantage of by other people. The rest of it's up to us. Had fried eggs and butter. Wow. Tapito Mexican hot sauce and some canned Icelandic cod livers. I love them so much. And not fishy. Yes, if you can get the cod livers, those are good. I used to love those too. Straight up truth, Michael Pregler. Yes, that's great. You will find a place. Yes. Oh, and there's Jerry. Good morning, Rick and everyone. California guests are still sleeping, so I can tune in now until they wake up. Then let the carnivore classes begin. Yes, and I know you have a live as well. Kittens are adorable, deadly cuties with sharp weapons in their paws. Yeah, those little kitten claws are sharp, but they're such cute little things. There we are. I've had so much severe pain. This is why it is such a blessing. Yes, it is. Right? Well, you have to work hard to get what you want, unless you're a parasite and you can get somebody else to do it for you. And Hawkeye Nixter loves coffee. Coffee seems to be... Okay, here we go. Let me try again. Hello. Yes, for some reason my phone system will not turn on, so I can't get your audio up. I don't know if it's... Shirt color. That depends. I've had white, blue. Well, we can go for the green or blue. Those are pretty common that I wear. Yep. All right. All right. Well, if the shirt is blue, let me think. I mean, it'd probably be white or black or... Oh, it's green. Okay. Well, you could... What's the color? Blue or what? I mean, well, red would kind of make people's eyes go crazy. I guess you could do the yellow. A lot of good comments. Okay. Yes. I can... Hold on. Let me turn this... Absolutely. All right. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Well, I guess that's good. Sending me a little goodie here, so that way we'll keep the address off of the internet. I only give it to my friends. Well, anyone here, they're all my friends. That's a good thing. All right, so let's see. Let's hit these comments again. Papa, you're triggering me, so yummy. Yes. All right. Okay, asking if she drives. It's 8 a.m. now here in Wisconsin. Well, yes, I know you're an hour behind. Is that John Studd on the phone? No, it's not. It's actually Dan. So, CB, do you have Rick line tapped? We can't hear. That's the whole idea, but don't worry. Once the phone system turns on, you can hear everything. I don't drive. Well, I guess we're healing. Okay, that's good. I don't drive much either, although I can. Well, I do, But I think I ride bike more than I drive. I could show you the inner tube to prove that. So let's see. Well, these comments are coming in strong, let me tell you. This is a very active chat. I really like that. That's why I look forward to this every single week. Every Saturday morning. Like, some of our commenters have said, it's like the version of cartoons. It would be like going back to when I was a kid, turning on the TV in the morning, and you hear Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So, and that's the direction I want the show to go in. We'll do this talk, and then I want to add some videos to it that'll show things that I'm doing. Once I get the truck running, which seems to take forever, but I'm going to go to my lot. I'm going to make some decisions. I'm going to see. There's a lot of things I want to do. Obviously, I want to come up with a more simple way to make an income instead of having to run from one odd job to the other. The moving process, fixing up the place to sell it, doing all those things. I think that it would make a really interesting video series rather than just somebody talking about carnivore all the time, which I rarely do. If you've seen my live stream, you know that I am not a carnivore YouTube influencer. I never have been, and I never will be. I will answer questions about carnivore. I will help you as much as I can, but I am not a carnivore influencer. I'm just a guy that has eaten the carnivore diet for a very long time, and I want to move from living in the suburbs to living in a rural area and getting involved more directly with food production, and then eventually I want to have a place where people can actually come and visit and you can experience a time that maybe you never saw. If you're a person younger than 40, you may not have ever used a rotary phone. You've never had to put money in a parking meter. There's a lot of things that you have never done. You may have never been in a building that looked like my home does. And don't worry, if I build a new home, it's going to be it might even be more old-fashioned than what I'm living in now. So it may be brand new, but it'll be built exactly the way that it would have been built up until 1960. So, and I want to do it while I'm still strong enough to do it. I'm still perfectly capable of building whatever I need to. When I get too old and I can no longer do anything, I want to get my heart attack and get it over with. I will stuff myself with as much fatty meat as I can until I get a massive heart attack. That's the whole idea. Now, my blood pressure, it's not high enough, I don't think, for a heart attack. In fact, I haven't taken it in a while. I think the batteries went dead, and then I never got any new batteries, although I may have some. Who knows? But anyway, let me see if I can, I'll catch up with these comments eventually. I think I will. Yes, I will. So what do we have here? Oh, the phone system just turned on. So I think the timer needs to be reset. We had the power go off a couple times, and I think that the timer has been turned back. So anyone that calls in from now on will be able to talk with me online. All right. 6 a.m. to our difference. I've been eating amazing lamb. I feel I'm addicted. It's easy to get addicted when you have delicious meats. And there we go. Amy, hey there. Well, you say, all right. Okay, there we go. I love this music. Yeah, something I found on YouTube. So relaxing. It's on every intro. It's always been that way. And enjoy the gift, my brother. Well, yes, you had called in. Carnivore has made me somewhat of a recluse. I tend to reluctantly follow a couple of different friends into restaurants now. Okay? Huh. From Milwaukee. Okay. That's good. I don't eat out much. Yeah, this is a good point right here. I don't like to eat out, and I never did. There's only one type of restaurant I like, and that's a buffet. The reason I don't like restaurants is because the pricing is not transparent. In a buffet, the pricing is transparent. You walk into the building, and the first place you go is the cashier. You pay your money, they give you a tray or a plate, and you go and get the food yourself. So, no matter where it is, whether it's a Chinese cat and dog restaurant or a Golden Corral or Sweden House when I was a kid, it's simple. You know exactly what you're going to pay, and you don't have to pay any kind of tip. Now, you can give the cleaning lady or whatever a tip if you want to, but it's not required. You go to one of these stupid overpriced restaurants, it's so much work. You got to sit there and they give you this stupid menu. I have a rule. If a restaurant has a menu, I don't want to eat there. Period. I will never go somewhere that has a menu. To me, that's an insult. Now, the other option is the cafeteria. The cafeteria is sort of a pay-as-you-go thing. They were real popular here. They don't exist anymore. We had the Biscayne cafeteria. That was a neat place. It looked like the 1950s. You walked in there, it had that space-age flying saucer chandelier and had those tables with the formica with the little hexagons and shapes on it and the aluminum trim. You had the chairs with the glitter vinyl. That was a really neat place. And, of course, there's a giant high-rise sitting where it used to be. But it was simple. So you go to the cafeteria, even if you went to Morrison's or one of those, and then you just pick out the food that you want. And then at the end of the line, they charge you by type and weight. So, again, I like to pay before I eat. That's the rule. Other than that, who needs the stress and the mystery? You eat whatever, and then they stick you with this bill. Then you got to argue. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. It's not even worth it. It's easier for me. Throw a grill in my truck. Put some food in a cooler. When it's time to eat lunch, fire up the grill. Throw the food on the grill. And if you want to make heart attack chicken, make sure you have a big block of lard, big old pot to put it in. You got to use cast iron, though, when you're cooking, when you're frying on the grill. If you use stainless steel, it heats unevenly and the food's going to stick. So my recommendation is get a big cast iron pot. I don't even know where mine went. I actually lost it. Who knows where that thing is? But if you have a gas grill, you can use stainless steel. All right. Wow. I'm feeling like Mitch now. I'm going to catch up with these comments. And the steaks are overcooked. Yes, they are. I've eaten raw meat because I was too lazy to cook it. No worries. Stay strong. I just subbed to your channel. Oh, awesome. And BK53. Good morning, Rick, Milton, Miss Kitty, and the Saturday Quack team. Well, good morning. I'm glad that you have dropped in, as always. I appreciate that. And let's see. It's still dark here. Yes, I believe it. Question from Amy. If it comes up. How far away is your lot? I'm telling you, Rick, you need to make a subscription-based how-to coaching group. My lot is 127 miles from this home. So it's about hour and a half, 2-hour drive depending on how much traffic there is and how many times you have to stop to pick the parts that fell off the truck on the way there. Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. I'm going through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. When I finish with this truck, it's going to be probably as good as it was in 1990. You need to make a subscription-based how-to coaching group. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But I don't like subscriptions because I don't do subscriptions myself. But who knows? I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to market certain products because I do believe that if I can source good quality products, and here's what I say. If somebody's selling a product, they're making money. I can do the same thing. I don't have to artificially mark up the product and hype it up like an internet influencer. I could sell, at the very least, if I could sell quality meats. Now, you have a lot of these so-called farm-to-table websites, and they charge you double what the meat is actually worth commercially because they have to pay for all the time and effort they put into this. I would like to make it so that my meats or products are competitive. They would be the same price or slightly more, but not a lot more. So I wouldn't have to try to convince people with a bunch of internet flim-flammery and be a grifter. I could actually market a good product. And I do believe that with the right connections, it's possible. And I do believe that a lot of people would like to do it. There's a lot of things that I like that maybe, I could start marketing home products. We could start selling paneling again, make that popularity come back. Maybe some of that patterned 70s wallpaper, maybe some 50s goodness could come back. I would like to market my famous ceiling tiles, get them back into every home and many businesses. A lot of these offices I work with, they're so cheap they don't even put a ceiling in the office. It's just open, it's loud, and it's dirty. When you have that open space on top, it gets full of cobwebs. I had an office one time that birds got in there. Somebody left the door open when they were doing cleaning, and we got sparrows in there. They were all over the place. They were dropping poop everywhere. They found a way to get in and out. People would open the door, they'd fly out. It was a complete disaster. But, I guess everybody's a little bit different. But I go to the church as a foodie, so we go out to eat together afterward. For me, it will probably be 2 small pancakes from now on loaded with butter and barley syrup. I don't even know the whole foodie idea, but that's kind of strange. Small token appreciation. Rick is the last of the Mohicans. He's a real one. Yeah, I'm real something. I'm sure the vegans would say a word that's not so nice, and I think a lot of the carnivore grifters don't like me. Those people that have their walled garden carnivore subscription groups, they don't talk about me. I'm the black sheep of the carnivore community. Many of us have subscribed. Easy Money showing us how to do stuff. Well, Amy, I will consider that. I respect your opinion, just like I respect the opinion of everyone in my chat. So it is a possibility. Let's just say that. Thanks to the fact that I'm so cheap, whatever money I get will be used in making the videos and in making things happen. I'm up at 4 a.m. every morning, no matter what. I don't know how anyone sleeps in. I can't. Well, Michael, I can't either. I get up. Sometimes I get up at 4, but I don't want to. I go to bed at 10:30. I try to sleep until at least 6, but generally by 6 o'clock, we have Dr. Kiltz and his lives. So I'll be waking up to that. And then from that moment on, I stay awake. I don't go to sleep again until 10:30. What can you do, right? And we have a thumbs up to Dan. There we go. Yes, I like him. Oh, thanks. I'm a fighter. My dad came from the East End of London. I'm here strong Cockney blood. There we go. I know you don't want to charge people money, but you're providing a service. That is true. Well, the thing is this. If people are willing to pay money and they believe that they're getting a service, I'm not going to say no. I have in the past charged subscriptions when I did IT because we had a lot of customers that had serious problems. And this was back in the 90s. We were just getting everybody to start using PCs and software. So what I would do, I would provide the installation and then a training service. So if somebody, let's say they had been using, I don't know, WordStar, and then they're installed WordPerfect. They're unfamiliar with the program. They'd call me up. If they were trying to send files over the network, maybe they were having difficulty network printing, they'd call me up. So what I would do, I would charge them a monthly amount, which at the time, I think it was $10. So we charged them $10 a month, and then that guaranteed a block of time, and then we charged them additional. So the way it was $10 a month to have the service, and you could get all the short tech calls for free. 30 minutes or less, the tech calls were free. And then if you wanted to have somebody like me come out, it was $25 an hour plus the travel, depending on where you were. That could range anywhere from $20 to $50, depending on how far away you were. And they paid it because it was less expensive than most of the software vendors. And I had a lot of good customers because they used to like me. They would say that I'd rather wait for Rick, because we had software vendors that sold software, and they would provide tech support. But they would usually send somebody with a difficult accent or with a bad attitude. It was like that Saturday Night Live skit where they're trying to teach them, oh, get out of the way, and then they go there and make the changes to it. So that was the same thing that they would encounter. So they would rather have me to show them how to set up, how to set up their workspace, how to update the software. And I also did the updates to our software for free. So if you were running our database and you had the shell that we used as part of you bought the software outright. It was not a subscription. It was $180 or whatever it was for the software suite that we had. And it came with a lifetime of tech support in case there was a problem. So if you had a bug that needed fixing, that was included. If your software crashed, you had to reinstall it, you could get free tech support. And we had other guys that did tech support. But if you needed one-on-one tutoring, then you had to pay an hourly rate for one of us to go ahead and do it. It was an interesting business. And again, the other job that I did where I got paid was when I taught at Miami-Dade College. I taught there for 13 years. And I taught various courses from electronics to computer repair. And again, students were very satisfied. Students would pay for their course. And of course, they get as much time as they could from me. Our cat bit me twice on my palm this morning. Wake me up. Milton does not bite me in the morning to wake me up. He wakes up on his own. He does his own thing. When I'm sleeping, he doesn't bother me. But when I'm awake, he'll attack. He likes to bite my arm for some reason, and I don't know why. He bites my leg, too. Usually not too hard, but once in a while he gets a little too hard. He generally keeps the claws in, but if he gets scared, the claws come out, and then things can get really bad. It's hard to imagine that such a cute little animal can be so dangerous. 3 pounds of bacon dehydrator. Try it for a meaty breakfast. That's nice. Same thing, I'm a morning girl. Yeah, there you go. Occasionally I eat something sweet at church, but not often. Feisty fighter when I don't get my coffee. Yes, Amy, I believe that. That's funny. My church thinks I'm pretty crazy doing carnivore. Well, I'm sure a lot of people think that a lot of us are crazy. I'm a late night person. I am not. And BMAT369, good morning, Rick. Well, good morning. Glad that you are here. My carnivore video already has 79 views. Well, good, Aaron. I appreciate that. I got to watch your video, too, if I ever get the time to spend enough time online. Yeah, carnivore, not carnal, right? Well, there you go. Okay, let's see. Oh, boy. All right. Stay up later. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm typing shorthand, apparently. I can always find something to eat wherever I go. If not, I don't just eat. Exactly. I do that, too. I love Morrison's. Yeah, I remember Morrison's cafeteria. We also had one called Piccadilly Cafeteria. Correct me and say carnal. You mean carnal. I don't eat out because I don't like mystery when it comes to food. I think it's insane people are picky eaters, but have no problem trusting someone behind a wall you can't see preparing it. Yes, that's why in the old days, the diners would be out in the open. In fact, that's how McDonald's got to be so popular, because the original McDonald's restaurant had it where people could see them cooking. Because in the old days, people didn't trust that. Why do you think they had White Castle hamburgers? People thought that hamburgers were just like whatever garbage you could grind up and mix together. So they would grind their hamburgers fresh so that people would eat them and not be thinking that they're eating some kind of mystery meat. Cast iron skillet are just miniature Blackstone grills, basically. That's a good point. My buddy doesn't even like the church we go to. I only want to go there because there seems to be a lot of women in this one. The preaching is too soft. So that's it. Church is a social club for many people. You need to hear more fire and brimstone. There we go. Putting on a pot of coffee for the Californians. I do not want to start it earlier and trigger them. Cast iron pot is probably under the truck. Hillside Bible Baptist Church. Oh, okay. I hope you find a nice girly. There we go. Next to my buddy, I look like a prize. Well, there we are. No one would think you're a grifter. We would think you're a survivalist trying to eat and live. And you know what? I saw one of those guys on our local news. If I get a chance, I'll bring it up for you. But I thought it was funny because there's a lot of similarities to me, except he's plant-based and I'm carnivore. Although he did mention eating roadkill, so I got to meet this guy. This ought to be nice. North Dakota Lance. Good morning, Rick. And I believe you have a live, what is it, 11? Something like that? Think of it as a training service people can join and leave at any time. That is very true. Your expertise and time is worth money and help you make heart attack burgers and chicken. And feed the kitties. No one will think you're a grifter. Well, that is very true. I'm not that kind of person anyway. So-called worship leader who coos and plays acoustic guitar appeared next to me. I joke that he looks taller in real life than on the monitor. Home skill at school. Yes. Okay. Will I ever catch up with this? I think I will. He wished the camera would remove 25 pounds. Well, he needs to try the carnivore diet. That's it. Your guests are already there. The worship leader, his weak style is a big obstacle for me. Okay, well, I guess they like that charismatic, good old-fashioned, old-time religion, holy rollers, and all that. And Barry Simon is here. Good morning, Rick and all. And Barry Simon has made several interesting AI-generated videos. If I get a chance, I'll show you those. One of them, I think, was an iguana bong, which I thought was really funny. Good morning, Rick and everyone. Greetings from Branson, Missouri. Tuning in for a bit before we take the youth group to Silver Dollar City for a fun day. And Kelly, the Missouri Carnivore, formerly known as Broken Carnivore, has a live, I believe it is at 4 tomorrow afternoon. So you might want to check that out if you happen to be out and about on the internet. And all quackers, 67 watching. Maybe one day we'll reach 100. That'll be interesting. So we have some hellos. And enjoy the day with the youth. Yes. Let's see. Church can be a great way to make friends. That is correct. Church is a social club where payment is optional. They don't charge admission. They just have a box or collection plate, which is fine. I like all the puncture and scratch out my left forearm. It makes me look tough. Well, when you're a cat guy, that's what happens, because they are beasts. Cats are beasts. They're like little tigers from the cat. Yes, I believe that. I figured that. You're so cute. Yes, you're so sweet. I can't wait for you to come live with me. Okay. I got some interesting things here. And let's see. There's Liz. We were talking about you earlier. The interview that you did with me, with Rick, the carnivore quack. And we have a good morning to Amy and have fun to Kelly. And it looks like, as usual, Rick caught up with the comments, although I missed a batch of them. So we'll catch these. Going to Poland in 2 years. Nice.
Qualify for the World Cup. Peter, okay. Can't see Jonathan. Did you find some kitty food? No, I didn't. I'll try again today. Looking at top chat or live chat. Dry food because she won't eat the raw. Yes, she won't eat the raw meat, but she is eating the canned food. So I'm transitioning her to meat. But I got to get her something because I ran out of food yesterday. I'm afraid to go outside because she's going to be over there begging for food, and I got nothing for her. She won't eat the raw meat. Cat food bowl. Looks like regular. Yeah. I've given her that and the canned food. Rick buys canned food. Yes, I do now. I see. And you see that I made a trip one time. Okay. So I have got all those comments. Let me go over here to, and we have a new set of comments. Oh, I missed. How did I miss this? Oh, well. Okay. Let's see. It's not about how long you live. It's about how good you feel. I agree with that. I fall asleep drinking coffee. There we are. I've been sharing my journey. I don't have diabetes or high blood pressure. That's right. That's right, Juju. Okay. My fat boss is down 80 pounds since starting a GLP-1 called Retatrutide. Ugh. I always got dumb names for those drugs. We all need to go to Florida for a morning moving party for Rick and help him move his home when he's ready. Anyone with a truck should drive. Well, it's going to take a semi-truck, maybe two of them, to move all my stuff. But I'll get rid of a lot of crap. I've been getting rid of crap in the meantime. Thankfully, I have all the help I need. I have Bob to help me. And Bob can outwork 10, 20 men easily. Bob can move an engine. I don't even think the biggest bodybuilder could lift that thing. It'd take like 4 of them to move that engine. I won't be live tomorrow since I'm out of town. Okay, won't be home. So he will not have a live on Sunday. But Amy has a live, and Juliet has a live. I don't see Juliet here today. She must be at the gym working. Top chat and live chat does mess with a person if you forget to switch it. Okay. All right. Let's see. That will do. Okay. We have a hello to Peter. How was your teaching career? How long? 13 years. I taught from 2000 to 2013. They changed the program. Now they required a master's degree. I only have a bachelor's degree. I wasn't going to go back to college to teach part-time. So Rick mostly taught his students how to fall asleep. They never fell asleep in my class because I would blow up a capacitor if people were falling asleep. I used to do crazy things. Yep, I gave away my mom's old cookbook when she died. She had a collection of cookbooks. I gave it to a friend of mine who has a fat wife. She loves her cookbooks. I didn't have the heart to tell him, maybe that's why your wife is so fat. And he's developing a gut. The kids are hyper, but they're skinny, but they'll get fat eventually. That's all. Would be back home in time for Amy's live for the cooking contest. Yes. Now, I think Amy, said she was going to have a live today in the morning, but I could be wrong. I don't know. The cookbook is about as unattractive as a car repair manual. No thanks. I have several car repair manuals. They do come in handy. I'm going to sell a massive cake stand. I might have used it once. Well, there you go. You know, I still have the old KitchenAid mixer that my mom used to use for making cakes and stuff. But I had another reason I used it. There's actually a KitchenAid meat grinder. I usually use the one that you crank, but they do have a meat grinder. And I got it here somewhere. I used to use that. I haven't ground meat in a long time because it's hard to get meat. But, you know, they do make one that you can stick in the top of the KitchenAid. So I don't have to throw the thing away. Plus, I can also use the KitchenAid for making heart attack buns. Although it is a bit overkill for something that small. But when you're making a bunch of heart attack burgers, and it's probably been 25 years. 25 years ago, it was a Y2K thing. We had a big event, and we were cooking different foods. So all of us were cooking our favorite foods. I had a video of that. If I can find it, I will put it on YouTube. But it was me 25 years ago, and we had a couple of cameras set up. They were VCRs. They had They were on a VHS-C or VHS compact cassette. The cassette's got to be here somewhere. But if I find it and it's still good, I'll put it on YouTube. And you can see I had a mass production going. I had a very large griddle, and I had one of those, the press where you can actually put the meat in and you press it down and it ejects it. I don't know what happened to that thing. I got a hold of that. You make it whatever size you want, anywhere from, quarter pound to like half pound, or there's like 1/3. They're different levels. There's a lever that you move and it raises and lowers the plate. You put the meat in there, you push it down, you pull this thing, it cuts it. And then you just push the handle back, boom, the patty comes out. So you fill it with ground beef, you press it down, and then it has this little like knife thing. You pull it, it cuts it, and then pops out. So that's really good. I've never seen another one, and I got it from, somebody gave it to me. I don't know, some old timer had it. They said that they used it at a restaurant back in the 50s. What if it had photos of meats? There we go. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. I am uncivilized. All right. Okay. Cookbooks are useless to me, but can make a good fire starter. That is very true. Christy invited me on her channel. We have a 3-hour time difference, so this was the only time I could pick because I have a coaching client at noon. Okay, so let's double check. I think that at 10 p.m., and again, feel free. In fact, I can even end the live stream early if you like, but check out Rockin' Coach Amy and Christy, Meeting Wellness. And if you don't know who she is, I did an interview with her almost 3 years ago. And unlike some people, she didn't delete it. So that's a good thing. And she also made Heart Attack Chicken. She was, I think, one of the first people to make a Heart Attack Chicken video. It was either her or JT. And I don't know if you remember JT, Poco Moonshine Family. He made a really nice Heart Attack Chicken video. He seemed to like me. He was, I think, the first of the carnivore community that really liked me for some reason. And I had never seen him before, but he was Carrie's friend for a long time. And we just sort of really became friends, and I really liked his channel. I haven't seen him. I heard that he got into making cannabis videos or something and then disappeared, but let me see. Okay, I've got to work 11 to 9, says Peter. Ooh, boy. Got to head into work. Okay, well, I know Peter has to go to work. That's fine. See you tonight on Butter Bob and Carrie. Is that tonight? I thought that was tomorrow night. Interesting. Okay. Fitness trainer. Okay. A cat will only eat raw chicken. She will not touch any other raw meat. Let me hit the scene here and see. Let me check. All right, let's hit this. Let me try YouTube. This is me. All right, why do I not have anything here? Do it again. All right. Okay. Don't forget, Mitch will be on at 7 tonight, but I think we all know that. And let's see, who else do we have? Let me try. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. Let's see. Up. All right. There's definitely some kind of issue, I think, with the mouse. The mouse may be defective. I might have to get another one. All right, let's see. Where is Amy? Where Where is Amy? It's here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. All right. Okay, there it is. 22 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay. So, you can check that out. Let me give you your first like while I'm here. That's good. So who else do we have now? Let's see. Oh, let me double check something here. Let's see what's going on in here. All right. Let's see how, by the way, I don't know if you know, but I now have 4,003 subscribers. And that's really good. Recent subscribers. Well, look at this. Looks like Carrie subscribed. Awesome. Two Crazy Ketos. Joe and Rachel. Great channel, by the way. If you haven't watched their channel, check it out. I'm looking forward to meeting them. They're up near Arcadia. They're really energetic and enthusiastic and seem to have a pretty good following. But, hey, I'm glad that Carrie decided to subscribe to my channel. So let's see when his live is. Butterbob is back. Oh, it is today. Let's see, 8:15 p.m. Yeah, it is tonight. Well, I hope I'll be here. I hope I won't be out moving. I'm looking forward to this. And again, if you don't know who Butterbob is just the original, and I mean the original carnivore YouTuber. And notice I'm starting to get a little leaner again. Butterbob got off the carnivore diet, got fat, but he had the courage to come back to YouTube and show us his journey. And Butterbob is, really an amazing man. I really like Butterbob. He's also a gardener. He has a nursery. And I've talked many times about Butterbob, even before Butterbob came back. I wonder if something was tickling his ear. Let's see if I can. I always takes it back to my friend's avocado farm. And by the way, Tom, Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm, is a great guy. And yes, us carnivores, we have no problem being around people who grow fruit because I don't see fruit as being a bad thing. So where is Butterbob? Let's see. Oh, well, there it is. There's Butterbob. You can see over here. Got some great videos. There's Butterbob with his new background. And I want to show you a little something about Butterbob. See, I made a comment on Butterbob's video. Look at how nice Butterbob is. I found out I couldn't eat it. The best part is I'm still losing weight and I feel great. Thanks, Rick. You're my hero. See, Butterbob, and I love your humble attitude and direction, devotion to what is right. You are the originator of YouTube low-carb living. So, Butterbob is underrated, but he's amazing. And this guy over here, I cannot stand this self-centered, egotistical piece of vegan propaganda. I mean, it's just really pretty sad. The population is rusting on the inside. I will never understand how anyone could follow this obvious grifter. I mean, the guy is, or whatever that is, Michelle the Vegan, MIC, I don't know what that is. I don't believe it. I don't believe that anybody can eat the vegan diet without supplementation and do well. And now, look at that, blaming meat for heart disease. Seriously? Iron level Those are perfect, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so, and now what's it? Somebody died or whatever? Who knows what it is? Let's see. They're going to try to find somebody. Why rusting occurs. Blah, blah, blah. Look at that garbage. That stuff isn't even edible. Well, at least he makes enough money to travel around the world because he's got 400 and something thousand subscribers of people that are destroying themselves eating toxic plant material. That's pretty sad. And you can see that's the name. It's good you don't go by Tick Tick. Yeah, I was telling about my mango variety. And again, I like this guy. I've met him, really avocado farm. I wish there were more avocado farms. And he has about 218,000 subscribers, so he's got less subscribers as well, and he's been on YouTube since 2016, so 10 years. He's been on YouTube a long time. Now me, on the other hand, I've been on YouTube way too long, although I did take a 10-year break. And by the way, Bob also took a 10-year break. But when he took his break, his subscriber count went up. Mine didn't, because he had a lot of great videos. It looks like I got 52 people watching. Well, that's not bad. And let me just go over here, and let me show you. Well, 1,345. I got 4K subscribers. Joined July 12, 2007. Not too bad. And by the way, if you ever want to contact me, you just click the email address and it pops up right there. It's very simple. I'm easy to find. And my phone number, I publish always when I do my live. You can see it. So that's not too bad. So anyway, let me pop back over here and let's get back to our wonderful comments from our wonderful people that are here, which I really appreciate. Okay, so let's see. I'm making yogurt. One of my jars got broke. Well, one thing you have to remember when you're making yogurt, don't tighten the lid. If you tighten the lid, it can build pressure and break the jar. So leave the lid loose. That's a little trick that I've always used. All right. It is 8:15 tonight. That's why I went to the page. My cat looks forward to raw red meat or ground beef appetizers. So does Milton. Milton, if you get meat on the counter and you start cutting it, he jumps up with his paws. He'll jump up on the counter and he'll grab the meat and pull it out of your hand. I was actually cutting some pork into strips, and Milton grabbed it with his mouth and ran away with it. So I'm like, okay. I think he likes to feel like he's hunting. It's so cute. And there's Richard Williams. Good morning from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Good morning. Good to see you again. Appreciate that. Bacon Runner. Hi, Rick and everyone. Well, hello, Bacon Runner. Glad to see you. Wow, 60s sounds beautiful. Might be time to start fixing up the farm. Yeah. You should do a side deal with single women and make deals to help them set up their newly purchased beds. Well, that would be a waste of time because I'm a cold fish. All right, thanks, Annabella. Carrie and Bob will be on at 8:15 your time tonight on Carrie's channel. Yes, that is correct. And that would get me fired for sure. I think, yep. So he was talking to Peter in that one. That's pretty funny. Be fired for sure. Hobby Bacon in my dehydrator is so fatty, barely any streaks of lean in it. Should be a good snack in a few hours, yes. Every handyman's dream job. Can you help me build my new bed? Well, as long as it's the wife and not the husband, you're in good shape. Peter, if I was not home, not in Branson, I would be outside today getting the mowers ready for mowing season and working in the shop. Where is Rick? I'm here. I'm just talking about whatever. Okay, Rick is in space. There we go. I used to watch a lot of musicals myself as a teenager. Yeah, there you go. Rick fell into the scrolling rabbit hole. Well, I came back. Now I'm here. Very strategic of you. I'm wearing winter pajamas. Ah, there we go. Not around here. I got my air conditioner on. I liked hair and Godspell as a kid. I was too young to be a proper hippie. Well, there you go. Yes, Bob is very nice. Yes, he is. We like Bob. We welcome Bob into the community because Bob is one of the founding members of this community. I can't make a time allowed for Butter Bob. He was absent when he entered carnivore. He snoozed, he loosed. Well, that's your decision, but I will. I like Butter Bob. Mick the Vegan looks ill. Mick the Vegan is ill, mentally. Physically, I don't know, but he does look strange. But then again, some people think that I look ill. I think I look pretty good for a soon-to-be 58-year-old. That girl, there we go. Likes could use, yes, make sure you click like if you like my video, which I'm sure most of you do, or you wouldn't be here. There's only so much you can watch. I watched Butter Bob years ago. He's a legend. Yes, that is correct. I still have your phone number. It's been a while since I've rung. That is true, but it's definitely out there. I was very daydreamy. There we are. Ah, here we go. I like Carnivore Teacher Alpha's videos. Not too long, but with strong teaching. Yes, John Laspina is another great carnivore personality, and he's here in Florida. I've got to meet him once, and I enjoy having him as a friend. I think he's really quite knowledgeable. He brings decades of teaching experience to the carnivore community. Thus, he calls himself the carnivore teacher, which he is. A really good person that everyone should watch his videos. I watch them. Sometimes I forget to comment, but I do watch the videos. They are short. They're less than 10 minutes. Well, he does make some longer ones. And then tomorrow at 1 Eastern Standard Time, he has Carnivore Sunday School. And basically, he has him, George, Good Enough, who's a lot better than Good Enough. And then, of course, Juliet Edens, another amazing carnivore personality, someone that I've met and I like. And her husband, Doug. They're all good people. There's nobody that I've met in the carnivore community that I don't like. That's the amazing thing, because in some communities, like in the tech community, yeah, you like some people, there's others you don't like, but everyone I've met in the carnivore community, I actually like. And the thing is, a lot of times when you see people online, you may think, well, how are they in person? Well, so far, everyone that I've met has been better in person than they were online. And that was also true of Kerry. When I met Kerry, I looked at him online. It's like, okay, seems like a good guy, but when I met him in person, it's like, wow, this is a sincere man that really wants to do good. So it was very impressive to me. Again, it's like a treasure, you know. When you first see it, it looks good, but the more you look at it, the more you like it. That's how this lifestyle works for us, which is awesome. I found it hard to get a lot of bacon fat when I cooked bacon recently. I love bacon fat in my eggs. I don't know if lard has a good flavor. Lard does not really have a flavor, so if you want to add more flavor, add butter to your lard. If the lard doesn't have the flavor you want, my recommendation, add butter to it. You can cook with butter alone, but it burns too easily. So mix it with lard. I like lard. And you know, Butter Bob, he made a saying, lard makes you lean, and butter makes your pants fall off. So if you eat butter and lard, your pants will fall off and you'll be lean. So that way people won't run. Okay. Let's see. Good morning. Yes, from Venetian Cat. Well, good morning. I'm glad that you have dropped in. And my short twin, there we go. I cook bacon with water in the pan now. It cooks more evenly and stays soft. Still gets a little crispy at the same time. Takes longer, but I like it. You can also put a lid on it to steam it up more, and that helps. And good morning from Nav9036. Good morning. Seeing people in person is like reading the book rather than watching the movies. That's an interesting way of looking at it. And there's a few more people I want to meet. One of the people I really want to meet in person is Dr. Anthony Chafee. I've always been a big fan of Dr. Anthony Chafee. And I know the women love him because they think he's really good looking. Yeah, he's okay looking, but, you know, I prefer blondes myself. But he just seems like a very sincere person. Dr. Chafee doesn't seem to be out there trying to make money. He already has his career, and I think he's just trying to share the information. And he was the first of the carnivore doctors to interview me. And the second of the carnivore doctors is the amazing and the original YouTube carnivore doctor, Dr. Sean Baker. Now, Sean Baker impresses me because he is the tallest of the carnivore doctors. But then again, even Pretzel Pete is pretty tall, so that's pretty amazing. But yes, they are definitely somebody I want to meet. And Annabelle Redwood agrees. I learned a lot from Amber O'Hearn about carnivore. She's one of the best. Dr. Anthony Chafee and Dr. Paul Mason are my favorites. Yes, Paul Mason, the blonde-haired Australian. I don't see him much, but I've seen him on and off. But definitely Chafee. I mean, now Chafee is not an original. He came on YouTube about the time that I started meeting people on the carnivore. He just popped up. Baker had already been on the carnivore YouTube for years before Chafee came on. But Chafee really took off. When I first found his channel, he had about between 20 and 30,000 subscribers. Look at how many he has now. He's basically the ultimate in terms of sort of carnivore, looks maxing, athletic, that kind of thing. Everybody likes him. They think he's gorgeous. And again, that's your opinion. But I think the best part is what's in here. You know, he spends time talking to people. Now, as he's gotten more popular, I don't think he can spend as much time talking to people like he did originally. When I first found his channel, he responded to every comment. But when you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, that becomes impossible. But again, he still knows who I am, still says hi to me when I catch his streams if he happens to be there. So he hasn't lost contact. He hasn't lost touch with his roots, and I appreciate that. So again, I'm hoping I get to meet Dr. Anthony Chafee one day, and as far as I know, his interview of me is still there. He did not take it down, so that's good. I appreciate that. Anthony Chafee was also the person who discovered the Maggie lady that everybody fawns over because she's been carnivore for such a long time. And he has done the only interview of her that is on the internet at all. Everyone else has basically protected her. They don't let her talk to anybody. She's not really active on YouTube. I think she made like one video and it was in the dark anyway. So, but at least Carrie Mann brought her out for the mainstream. So I'm sure that when the movie comes out, we'll get to see more about her. And Kelly says, I got to meet Juliet Edens and her husband Doug in person yesterday when I was coming through Springfield, Missouri for lunch. It was an awesome time. Yes, Juliet has a really good attitude, and Doug's a car guy, so you can get a lot of interesting conversation between the two of them. We were eating at I forget what the burger place was called. I think it was a Five Guys. We had some burger patties there, and it was pretty good. Yeah, we got to hang out, and we were at Kilts. The whole Kilts event was pretty amazing in itself. I never knew, well, I had met him at Hack Your Health, but before Hack Your Health, I didn't know what a dynamic person Dr. Kilts is. Robert Kilts is definitely a unique. He has some characteristics that I do as well, so I guess I identify with that. I'm like the poor version of Dr. Kilts. I need to try it. Add some lard to the bacon grease jar. There you go. Just enough water to submerge. It's better. If you put water on your bacon, you'll cook off less of the fat, and you'll be able to eat it. Okay, have you grown any white hairs yet? I don't think so. I've seen a couple of them here, but not many. I don't really have a lot of them. Rick's sinus sound is equivalent to duck quack. Wank, wank. Something like that. My house smells like hickory smoked bacon. Yes, that's pretty good. I like that. Colors taste like... Are they fishy? They are not fishy. Good cod livers are not fishy. They're kind of like oily chicken livers, in my opinion. Low carb down under a lot. He's a legend. Yes, I've seen his videos, but not a lot. You have a crush on Mason. Well, there you go. Well, he's blonde, so that's probably it. Blonde guys are definitely attractive to many people, just like blonde girls are attractive. They're unique. Dr. Chafee, and why is not primarily his looks. It's sincerity, intelligence, and dry humor. Yes, I agree. And again, only the vegans have something bad to say about Dr. Anthony Chafee. I really like him. I think he's pretty awesome. And again, it's one of the people I want to meet, hopefully one day. Dr. Anthony Chafee has a good heart. Yes, he does. That's what I like about him. Yes, that's what kind of got it. I don't have a crush on Dr. Paul. Okay, good. Personality is his best asset. That is correct. Dr. Chafee is a good teacher. Yes, he is. He's such a mild-mannered ego person. How can't you like him? Yes, Michael, that's what I'm saying. He's not arrogant like the vegans. You look at Mick the vegan and you go, I can't stand this person. You listen to Anthony. I like Anthony. I really do. Yes, I do. I love Juliet. Yes, I do too. Juliet helped me out with Beautiful Milton to get Milton fixed. So she's a doer. Not just a talker, but an actual doer. He has great information on his channel too. Yes, he does. You're making me laugh so much. You are a groupie. Rick will get his first gray hair when Miss Kitty has her litter of kittens. Okay. Good question. Barry Simon. QQQ. Dr. Chafee and Maggie are going to be at Meatstock in Tennessee at the end of April. Any interest in going? No. I have no interest in going to some overpriced get-together, even though, isn't it Scott that made the Meatstock? I think it's Scott. What is his channel called now? I forgot. Let's see. When I watch your interviews, you had said in them you never grew white hairs. Now you did, sadly. I don't know. I don't see any, but the older you get, it's just a matter of time before they come in. I'm not afraid of having white or gray hair. I think it works. If you're one of those people that's in good shape, you see the picture of Michael Pregler over there, and you have some gray hair, I think it's actually a good thing. When you see somebody who's in good shape with gray hair, that says, hey, this is somebody that takes care of themselves. That's a good thing. Let's see. Rick and everyone have a great day. It's time to head to Silver Dollar City Park with the youth. Well, thank you, Kelly, for being here. Too bad you won't have a live tomorrow, but I'm sure you'll have one in the near future. And Michael says that his hair is bright white now. But the thing is, does it make you any less attractive? And I would say no, it does not. When you see somebody, and I can't really tell your picture's small, but it looks like you're in pretty good shape. We actually have a restaurant here that's called Flanagan's, and there was a guy named Joe Flanagan. When he made the original sign for the restaurant, it showed him with the hair and a beard that was all dark. When he got older, it was all white, and he'd do his own commercials. And I'd look at him and say, yeah, I recognize this guy. They still look pretty good, so that's good. I haven't cut it for a year now, and all of the older women go over it. See, they absolutely love it. This is the thing. When you're in good shape, if you have white hair, it's like you see these younger guys. Remember that guy that did the news? What was his name? Gloria Vanderbilt's, what the heck was it? Anderson Cooper, I think is his name. Anderson Cooper. Women used to go crazy for this guy, although I don't think he was interested in women, if I remember correctly. But Anderson Cooper went gray in his 30s, I believe. So, did your mom have white hair? Yes. She get hair genes from her mom. My mom started getting white hair in her 50s. But my mom also had cancer at 48. That may be part of it. My mom used to dye her hair with Miss Clairol and some of those other things. You put the plastic gloves on and put the dye in it. But her hair was actually a combination of brown hair, blonde hair, and white hair. So that's it. My husband has white hair and beard. Women always compliment him. See? Women aren't, yes, women like young guys. But the thing is, older guys that are in good shape, typically the older men, if they've lived that long and they're in good shape, they have their act together. You see some 20-something guy, you don't know what you're getting. He may have his act together, He may be an idiot. It doesn't really matter. But the older you get, your appearance takes on your actions. If you eat duck food and smoke cigarettes and drink sodas and drink alcohol, by the time you get to 60, well, let's just say no one's going to be interested in you unless the light is off and they're very drunk. But on the other hand, if you've taken care of yourself, you could be 60 years old. There are several people in the carnivore community. Remember, what's the guy that now is trying to sell medical services? He promotes fermented foods along with carnivore. Let me think. I'll remember his name. Dr. Sean O'Mara. Have you seen Dr. Sean O'Mara? What is he, 62 or something like that? He's in good shape. He's got all white or gray hair. And people think that he's attractive. Sure. Because he's in shape. That's the thing. Being in shape is more important than having no wrinkles, having no gray hair. Because plastic surgery can pull out wrinkles. And you can color your hair. But when you're out of shape, there's nothing you can do about that. You got a big old gut hanging out, or you got toothpick arms and a big fat bottom. There's nothing attractive about that, no matter what age you are. My hair went gray 9 years ago after my beloved husband died. Carnivore made it darker. Well, there you go, see? And carnivore can help. Look at what it did to Mitch. Have you seen Mitch's hair? It's not all gray. Mitch is, what, almost 78? Come on. By the time you get to your late 70s, if you have any dark hair left, that's pretty good. Most of the people I know that are in their 70s with dark hair, it came out of a bottle. They put shoe polish on their head. But you look at Mitch from the back, I've seen him in person. It's real. That's not color. That's real. So, white hair is a sign of wisdom. And by the way, if you've seen Mitch in person, you can see the way that he moves. Yes, he's had a stroke, so his right arm and right side isn't as active as a person who didn't have a stroke, but he stands up straight. He sits up and down without assistance. He doesn't trip. He doesn't always use the cane either. When we were at the meetup, he barely used the cane. And if he carries it, he's holding it up off the ground. So it's not like he's feeling around with it. He's just keeping it there in case he gets unstable. And again, carnivore lifestyle. Where would you be if you had a stroke and you're eating duck food? You'd probably be sitting in a rocking chair. Oh, Mitch, he ain't going to sit in a rocking chair. He's going to keep going until he gets that heart attack, and that's it. Distinguish if one is in good shape. Yes, that is the key. You have to be in good shape. You could be lean, you could be muscular, but you don't want to be shaped like a pear or avocado. If you're shaped like a pear or an avocado, that's not a good shape. If you're shaped like a palm tree like me, that's still okay. All right, what else we got here? Passed away. My dad passed away. A lot of my hair fell out. Well, there you go. Stress can cause that. And carnivore and weight loss. I don't think I've seen. Maybe you changed your name. Hi, Rick. My hair is turning brown again. Now I'm on carnivore year number 2. Well, there you go. See? That is super amazing. And the other thing I've noticed, there's a few channels that talk about the dental effects. And, my teeth are cracked, crooked, but they're white and they're strong. And all I use to brush my teeth is once a day with baking soda and lard. Yes. Not bad. Also, I wear no glasses. I don't use reading glasses, and I read all the time. For example, on this phone, I can read this text without a problem. All right. I like this guy's show. I don't watch TV, but this guy, you got to watch him. He's really good. I can always tell where he is because he's got a background of encyclopedias, and then there's always this over here. You know what that is. Dodge Charger. There's 3 of them. There's one over here. There's one over there. The old Dodge Charger. And what else do you find in Rick's set? Look over here. Yep. Brass duck bookends. That's another one of the Rick signatures, which will always be on it. And Barry Simon says, Rick, the dating game host. There we go. Many old guys with white hair and beards. It's a garden gnome festival. Yeah. Except garden gnomes are not in good shape. But that's okay. Yes. Hello, carnivores. Glad to see you. Well, Cyber Genius, glad to see you again. I appreciate you dropping in. Very nice. I'm getting sleepy now. Well, if you're getting sleepy, it might be time to go to bed. As DS111 says, go to bed. I'll be there in a while. Okay. I'm still getting chubby, but I'm getting fitter every day. I'm still chubby. Okay. Not a big deal. You know what Dr. Kiltz always says? Fat is not pathogenic. The main thing is build the muscle, get stronger. That's fine. You don't have to be perfect. Six-pack abs are not normal for human beings. That's something that people do out of extreme. Having a little bit of fat around the waist is actually a good thing. It'll help you in a famine. But you want to have enough strength. Now, you don't want to be a toothpick like me that has no muscle. But even a toothpick like me can lift a refrigerator or engine block or anything like that. I'm going to be taking apart a compressor when I move my friend. He's giving me his old Quincy compressor, which has problems. But the thing is, I have a Quincy. I don't like Champion compressors. I don't care for Campbell Hausfeld. I also have Atlas Copco, which is a great compressor, but the problem is they haven't made those in decades. The new ones they make are all the Roots type. They're commercial. So, but my Quincy, great compressor. It is a monster. 5 horsepower. Now mine is originally 3-phase, so I have a rotary converter. His compressor actually has a single phase, 240 volt, 5 horsepower electric motor on it. So that one is ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to bring it here to the house, add it to my collection of stuff. But when I move, having that Quincy, I'm going to have 2 of them, and I'll have them in the shop. If one breaks, I'll use the other. Now everyone says, just buy one of the new compressors. But the problem with the new compressors, they run at a higher RPM, so they're harder to silence. My Quincy that's in the garage could be running right now while I'm doing a live stream, and I wouldn't hear anything because it runs at 800 RPM. The new ones, the electric motor is 3,400. The old motor there is 1,800. So it's very easy to quiet it down. It's just like, it's very, very quiet. And when you have as much junk as I do in the garage, it quiets it down. When I build my new garage, I will have the soundproofing inside. I'll probably use something like hempcrete or something to make the soundproofing, which is basically shredded hemp mixed with building lime, put it on the walls, and I'll have my shop. Now, most people today, they use cordless tools because they have a lot of torque, but I will still use air tools. I like air tools because they're cheaper and they give you a lot of power. And that's a traditional shop. You always hear brr, brr, brr. You hear the air tools going. Plus, to paint, you need air. And to blow off dirt, you need air. Blowing out passages. So having an air compressor is critical. And even though these things were made in the 1960s, they're better than what they make now. And of course, fits in with the decor. 1950s and 60s. It's a good time. And Michael says, and I'm impressed by this, I'm 6'2", 198 pounds, and a 34-inch waist. That is impressive. I am 6'6". I weigh between 195 and 200, and I also have around a 35-inch waist. So my waist is a little bigger. I am taller, and I'm definitely skinnier, and I don't have a gut either. And again, I can't tell by your picture, but let me see. It's small, but yeah. Looks pretty good. You look really good. I like that. All older men should be in shape. And I say every older man should be able to get up from a couch without having to hold on to anything. You should be able to carry 2 jugs of milk, 1 in each hand, and walk for at least 200 feet. You should be able to climb 3 flights of stairs without getting out of breath. And that's good. Okay, how about using just fat for teeth, not lard? Well, the problem with the fat is that it has a connective tissue. So if you try to brush your teeth with that, it's going to get stuck in between. But lard is already rendered out. And the lard mixes with the baking soda. The baking soda is actually what sort of neutralizes any acids that may be in there. It also scrubs away dirt. So baking soda mixed with lard is sort of like toothpaste. Toothpaste, as you know, has that creamy but abrasive consistency. So I developed this because, again, it was a joke. I didn't want... It was a combination of being cheap and being outrageous, because I thought, how can I make toothpaste that would be unhealthy? I'm trying to make it as unhealthy as possible. So I had lard. Brush your teeth with lard. I know that when I eat lard, my teeth feel so smooth, it makes them actually feel clean. And unlike a lot of people, I don't get anything. You can scrape off dirt on most people's teeth. Mine, you can't. There's nothing there. So, I'm not sure why that is. People talk about plaque. I don't get that on my teeth. So, all right. Wow, look at all these comments. They come in strong now. You've been very naughty tonight. Okay. Sorry for your loss too. Yes. This morning here, it gets worse. Okay. Let's see. I lost my mother. I lost my youngest brother. And I lost my oldest son within the last few years. You must keep a stiff upper lip. That's a lot of tragedy for a short period of time. I lost my dad in 2012, lost my mom in 2020. I don't have any brothers or sisters, and I don't have any kids. So, and my cats, they tend to live to between 18 and 21 years. And then when they drop dead, you get another one. So it's not so bad. iGas prescription is not as strong as it was previously. Well, there you go. See, you're already improving. I lost 5 people I loved in 18 months. Wow. I also had skin cancer. I've come a long way. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad. All right. Rick is backpedaling after body shaming us fat people. Well, you know, there's a difference between being fat and healthy and being fat and unhealthy. My friend that I'm helping to move, he's fat and healthy. He can work all day in the heat. Move heavy objects. Now, he's had back issues. He's had hernias and all that, but he keeps working. So he's healthy. Everyone else in his family has died in their 50s. And he's, 55 now, but he's pretty healthy. And he goes to the doctor regularly, and every time they check him up, he's fine. And I think he'll be all right. The rest of the family, they all smoked and drank, which he doesn't do. He doesn't drink any alcohol and doesn't smoke cigarettes. So they all die of heart disease. He's okay. So it is possible to be fat and healthy. I got another friend who's really fat. He's almost 400 pounds. He's got some issues, but he's actually improving, and he is losing a little bit of weight. Maybe a couple of pounds a month. So the weight is starting to decrease. I keep telling him try the carnivore diet, but he does eat a lot of meat. He ditched the sodas. That really made a big difference. The sodas seem to be the one thing that really puts on the weight. You give me hope for the future. I'm 18 hours behind you. It's not, let's see, not a weight loss diet. Weight loss is only a side effect. Yes. I just did a video called Stop Treating Your Body Fat Like a Marvel Supervillain for women who always try to go Hollywood. Yes. I hope you're getting grief counseling. It helps so much. I'm in grief counseling now. Lost a good friend to liver cancer. Personally, I'm always trying to gain weight. Hard for me to do. Yes, I believe it. Well, the older you get, the harder it is. But at least you're still working on it. You know, that's the important thing. It's a shame, especially when people are retired. Instead of sitting around complaining about pain, and I know a few people like this, I said, look, why don't you take up a hobby? Why don't you build something? Why don't you work on a car? Why don't you join the gym? If you live in an apartment, you can't do nothing, There's a gym down the street. Why don't you join that? Yeah, it's full of young guys, but who cares? There's old people there too. They have the Medicare silver sneakers or whatever. They give you a gym membership. I know several older people that have had that. And I said, look, why don't you try it out? You can't go wrong. Just don't push yourself too hard. You won't get hurt. The worst thing you can do is let yourself become old and weak and slowly wither away. You want to go out with a bang. You want to be pushing that weight, have a massive heart attack, and drop dead right there. It'd be like going to the heart attack grill and having a heart attack right there. Go to the gym and have a heart attack. If you have a big enough home, you could have a home gym. That's not the way to approach it. Make it a lifestyle, not just a diet. Yes, and it is a lifestyle. Had some counseling, helped me since cancer treatment. It's been 9 years since Dad's passed away. My faith sustained me. Awesome. Carnivore isn't a punishing diet. I get to eat bacon and steak. Thank you for your kind words. Yes. And Linda Flanagan is here. Hello, Rick Milton. Anyone? Well, hello. Milton has been asleep on my bed. So that's, typical little monster Milton. He's good. The Black Menace paws haven't been attacking anything. So important to have someplace to talk about the loss. Cancer is a grieving process too. Yes, it is. Do you have a timeline for eventual move? No, Barry, I don't. I think it's all going to depend on how soon I get my truck fixed. But I take these little side jobs. I do what I can. And then I've also helped my friends out for free. My friend is moving. He'll be moved. Hopefully things will settle down. But once I fix my truck, then I'll make a schedule. I'm really waiting for the real estate market to collapse. That would be the deciding factor, because if the market tanks, that means less property tax. That means more money that I can spend, and it will cause my income to surge. Every time the economy implodes, I get a lot more work, and I'll tell you why. A lot of customers that I have that have nurseries and the few remaining farms, they start trying to fix their old equipment, so they need someone to do that. People start having vacancies in their homes, and they have to compete to try to get tenants. So they have to fix the problems, and they have to haul off the garbage. That's what happened after 2008. The work will pick up. So if the economy is allowed to crash, and we know the Fed is going to print $20 trillion to try to stop the crash, but it may not work. The market may panic, and then the Fed would have to stop printing, and there's a lot of things that could happen. The economy is in a real danger zone right now, thanks to all the disasters that have been created, most notably the energy crisis that they created. So it's only a matter of time before it blows up. But once that happens, if you see the economy crash, that's going to turbocharge my moving process. If the economy keeps plugging along the way it is, it may take longer, because the inflation is just going to make it more difficult to get anything done, and it causes my income to decrease. Every friend that moves out is just one less contact I have for work. Imagine brushing your teeth with bacon like a cartoon character. Yeah, that's true. I know what you mean. Act like they feel sorry for me on carnivore. I'm like, why? They're all my favorite foods. Yes, my late hubby on an air compressor for $75. Still works great. There you go. It was hard without Dad when I had the cancer. I've gone over a year without cancer now. I had skin cancer every year for years. I've gone over a year without skin cancer. I think the carnivore diet has something to do with that. I do cooking on my channel. It's awesome food. It's certainly not salad. Yes, I love eating meat. Meat is awesome. Meat is awesome. It's amazing how started on a healthy relationship with food. Sad dieters cannot conceive of not being addicted or what healing feels like. I found the carnivore community 4 years ago because of heart disease. Best move ever. Well, there you go. Rick should polish his van with his so-called toothpaste. Ah, there's Bob. Hello from Northeast Ohio. Well, hello, Bob. And I got some news for you. First of all, if you don't know who Bob is, there's a website called carnivoretalk.com. Let's check that out together. Let's see here. All right. carnivoretalk.com. And the mouse is giving me a hard time as usual. Okay, here we go.
All right. Let's see.
Welcome to our carnivore, keto online community. So you can join Carnivore Talk. I'm not logged in on this computer, I don't think. Or I might be. But anyway, you can join for free. And there are lots of subjects here. You can communicate with different people. And on Monday on YouTube, and I don't know if it's listed here, but it should be. Let me see. Well, it's on there. But anyway, if you go to YouTube on Monday night, you can see that. Let me see here. Let me go back to my other scene. Okay, and let me go over here to my YouTube. Where is my YouTube? Here it is. Since I'm the owner of the YouTube channel, where did my comments go? They disappeared. Oh, well. This thing is far back. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to go ahead and close that one, and I'm going to go back to YouTube. Okay, what am I doing? Here it is. Okay. And there I am. So we'll go over here. Where is Bob? Oh, well, I thought it was here. Anyway. Let's see. Come on. Oh, well. I'm sure everybody can find it. I'm the only one that can't find anything. Okay. Let's see. Here it is. So let's go ahead and we'll go there. Go to channel. And there it is. Carnivore Talk. We got 3.25K. Let's get his subscriber count up. Lives are on Monday night. You can see the last one. So you have a choice. And what I was going to say, two of my friends that I normally have a get-together at my house are out of town. So I will not be having a get-together on Monday. So I will join you for the entire Carnivore Talk on Monday. And by the way, on Tuesday, I will be with Russ Mitchell, the Keto Cookout. So I know a lot of times people want to come into my live with a picture. You can always call in. But if you want to come in with a video, you could join one of those live streams. So you got Monday and Tuesday available, and you can join either one of them if you like. So that'll work. And we have a good morning to Rides Biscuit. I'm so sorry for your loss. Yes. I gained muscle on carnivore, so I threw my scales away. Clothes don't lie. Yes. Who cares how much you weigh? It's what you look like that counts. We're good at judging a person's health by the way they look. That's why a lot of people try to game the system, but you can't game the real deal. I listened to that one last night. I did a lot of random acts of kindness when my dad was sick and when I had cancer. Yes, random acts of kindness and gratitude saved me. It helps your attitude for sure, making me more and more good looking in my own mind. Well, there you go. I had terrible anxiety. I learned about eating protein by watching Jordan Peterson. I think Jordan Peterson destroyed his health with some kind of oddball treatment. Almost did me in rough times for those of us that had all our eggs in new home construction. Yes, 2008 really did it, but it helped me tremendously. That collapse was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Most of the stuff I have now, Bobcat attachments and all that, I got that after the collapse because so many people went out of business and they needed money. I could get stuff for next to nothing. And I was able to keep some of it for myself. Some of it I fixed up and resold years later for a lot more. So it worked out well. That's the ultimate inflation fighter. Pre-diabetic. She eats cakes every week. I've reversed diabetes. I feel sorry for her as I remember feeling very ill with type 2 diabetes. Yep. Okay, let's see. Flipping back and forth with Amy's live. Yeah, I forgot. I might have to end this early. I don't want to mess. You can feel free to go to Amy's because I'll probably be here after it's done. Being healthy, I appreciate you, Rick. Hey, I appreciate you. I'm just trying to get everyone to check out your site. Love having you on, Rick. I appreciate that. I'd be on there a lot more, but I have my neighborhood get-together. But next week there will be no. Okay, Jordan got affected by mold exposure, apparently. You know, I live with mold. My house is loaded with mold, and I've never had an issue. But anyway, let's see. DC Learning to Live is giving advice. David has great advice. I love his channel. He's adopted a cute possum. Yes, he has to buy fruit for the possum now. Yeah, those possums can be quite interesting. I've had to extract more than one possum from my attic, and also I had possums living in the van. I took them for a ride to horse country. So, and they do make a funny noise. They have sharp teeth. They try to look aggressive. They're generally harmless. You can actually pick them up. They won't bite you, but they look vicious. So usually I'll throw a towel over Mr. Possum. That's how I got him out of the van. I took one of these old towels. I think it was a brown one. I threw it over the possum, and I wrapped him up, and I put him into a cage, and then pulled the towel out, and he just kind of sit there with his mouth open, not moving. And I found the other one. The other one I evicted, but he never came back in the van. I filled in the hole. But the one possum that was aggressive, I took him about a mile away, and I turned him loose in an empty lot. I'm sure he did fine. If he wanted to come back, he probably could, but I haven't seen too many possums. We have a lot of stray cats around now, and I think that discourages the possums from there. Did you know if possum poops in hay and horse eats, it kills them? It can be, yeah. I've heard about that. And I know, like my friend in Georgia that harvests hay, they constantly have problems with rodents and possums trying to get into the hay. So what they do, they normally have, well, they have round bales. They're normally net wrapped. So if something did poop on the hay, it would be on the outside. But if you do loose hay, that could be a real problem. Okay, yeah. Lucky you are in Australia. Have you eaten possums? No, I haven't. They did not look appetizing, and they eat garbage, so it'd be like eating raccoon. But I did have old-time neighbors. We had a redneck family that lived 2 houses over, and they loved their possum stew. But the smell of the possum stew cooking was not very appealing, so I never really ate possum. Supposed to say horse eat. Yeah, that's what I figured. Coconut oil with baking soda, mix in a little jar for toothpaste. The coconut oil is good for the gums. I didn't like lard. I'll stick to the coconut oil. It's more bland. Hey, that works too. Coconut oil is a plant-based saturated fat, but unlike seed oils, it's easy to extract because a seed oil, the oil is mixed in the structure of the seed. But in a coconut, which is also a seed, you have a void, you have an opening. The coconut protects itself with the hard shell, so it doesn't need chemicals. And inside the coconut, you have the white coconut paste or coconut meat, and then you have within that the oil. There's also a little bit of oil in the water. It's very easy to get the coconut oil. You could simply blend it up, put it into a water, put it in the refrigerator, and the coconut oil floats to the top. If you want to get more refined coconut oil, you simply heat it up a little bit and then strain it out. So you take your coconut, blend it all up, and instead of just straining it cold, you strain it hot. That gives you more oil. And then the coconut meat, the coconut, whatever that white stuff is called, I would use that for my mom's fried shrimp. My mom loved fried shrimp. But the problem was she used to buy the stuff they sold at Winn-Dixie. It was called Sea Best fried shrimp. And it had some kind of bread coating or whatever on it. Well, luckily for me, they discontinued it. They stopped selling the Sea Best shrimp. And they had it with breaded and they had coconut. So I came up with one of Rick's great ideas. What I did, I would take the shrimp. And one thing that I like to do when I boil my pork, I have like the leftover water, which contains lard and some kind of collagen. So what I would do is heat it up, put it into a container. I still do it to this day. Put it in the refrigerator, and then the lard floats to the top. I peel the lard off. Then you have that collagen stuff in the bottom. I would take that, and then I would boil that down until it was almost like a syrupy paste. Then you take the shrimp, and you put it in that paste. You mix it all up so it all sticks together. Then you're going to take the coconut. Now, again, this is not carnivore, but my mom liked coconut shrimp. So you take the coconut that you've strained out and you dry it in the refrigerator, and you mix some eggs in there, and then you put eggs all over that shrimp that you dipped in the pork collagen, and then you go ahead and put the coconut on it. The dry coconut will absorb that material and it sticks to the shrimp. Then you fry the shrimp in pure lard. And what you end up with is coconut shrimp. And then you give Mom the shrimp along with some salt if she wants it, and some pepper and other spices. And then Mom and I could eat shrimp at the same time. Normally, I would give her the sea best shrimp and I would make my own heart attack shrimp. But with the coconut shrimp, and yes, even though it's coconut, I could eat it and it didn't make me sick. The coconut did not bother me. So if you don't like using lard on your teeth, go for the coconut oil. Also, when I make my own soap, and I actually have some soap that I made, I tried to make a video, but I ran into a problem. But I do have the soap. I can grab the container if you want to see what it looks like. It's in the refrigerator drying out. It'll take a week to shrink and dry out and be ready to use. But yeah, coconut oil is fine. It's not carnivore, but it works. Okay, so let's see how many comments we have. They're still coming in. I will eat any animal that runs. Rick will eat any animal that runs away from him. Unless they're a carnivore, I don't eat carnivores because they tend to be toxic. Rick is like a cat in that way, chasing prey. Yes, I do that with iguanas and ducks. And it was, given a free bacon flavored coconut. Ugh, that sounds weird. Bacon flavored coconut. That's why he looks so benign in a supermarket. All the animals have already been killed. Yes, that is true. Okay. Shopping cart running through Publix chasing a rogue iguana on aisle 6. Well, I never shop at Publix because I hate it, but I have gotten chicken from the Publix parking lot. The Publix parking lot used to have some really good chicken, so I did get that. I've missed your live streams and all your devoted friends here. I hope you all have a beautiful spring day. Well, thank you, Cassandra Walruff. I appreciate your making the comment and being here. And you too, says Terry Girl. Well, that's awesome. Well, I've caught up with the comments. Let me go ahead. I'm going to show you what the soap looks like. I guess let me just play a little something so you know that I am not out of it. I got a new video you'll probably like. So let me see here if I can get this to work.
With Santa Fe cigars, your second, third, or fourth cigar of the day smokes as light as your first. That's why
100,000 times a day, someone lights up a Santa Fe.
Okay, so we have a commercial for something that doesn't exist anymore. This is some of my homemade soap. Now, you might look at this and say, what is that? Looks like lard, but here it is. What it is actually lard. So this was some clean lard that I had. When you use the old lard, it's going to be a darker soap. But this is some clean lard that I had, and I made a wash out of wood ashes. I was burning a bunch of stuff in the yard, so I had plenty of wood ashes. And this is the result. Now, you can see that it's sort of shrinking. It may actually be ready. Yeah, it's out of the mold. There we go. So here it is. But you see how it's still kind of wet? This soap is going through what's called the proofing process. The saponification has already taken place, but now it has to dry out. It also is still a bit alkaline because of what I use, the wood ashes. Here's a chunk of it. I like to dry this out. Now, this soap is destined for the laundry. So I'm going to dry this in the refrigerator for at least a week, because right now it's still kind of soft, but it'll dry out. This has a lot of the homemade lye in it, so it's a little too... You can use it for a cleaning soap, like if you're working on a car, but for regular soap, it's not as good. So we'll let this dry, and then we use the cheese grater to grate it up. I use washing soda, borax, and some of this to do my laundry. Again, it's just me being rebellious. But I found out I'm not the only one that does this. The Amish use the same technique. So again, another parallel between me and the Amish. So I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator, and I'll return.
Strawberry poop gas. I was cooking in the backyard, feeling like a pro. Tossed in some grass clipping magic, let that compost glow. Dog poop, cat poop, nature stew. Bubble, bubble, what's that do? Smells so wrong but feels so right. Pink smoke rising in the moonlight. Neighbors yelling, what's that blast? Too late, it's cooking fast. Old strawberry poop gas, blasting from the grass. Bubble and sizzle, it's science class. One big burp and the backyard blue. Now we're living next to Mount Doo-Doo. Built a grill from garbage cans, hooked it up with rubber bands. Dog barked once, the cat took flight, then boom, the sky turned brown and bright. It rumbled, it tumbled, it splattered the fence. A poop volcano makes no sense. Sticky strawberries rain from the sky. Compost cooking till the day I die. The old strawberry poop gas. Why?
Okay, I had to wash my hands off. That stuff is quite strong. It was starting to burn my hands a little bit, but anyway, so that's going to be drying out for a week. That'll be good for the next laundry. Maybe I made a video before about how I do my laundry. I might do it again, but I'm still having trouble finding the washing soda. They haven't had it at Lowe's. They don't have it in the grocery store anymore. It's like everything else. If I use something, they don't sell it anymore. So I may have to find a wholesale supplier. Sometimes I've had to go to the Diamond fertilizer place to buy stuff that I need. The problem is, now you go to the fertilizer place, they want to see your ID. They want to see if you're on some government watch list. I mean, it's ridiculous. Since when was fertilizer a threat to the government? I don't understand that. You know, it's just ridiculous. Everything just gets stupider and stupider as time goes on. I used to be able to buy K-Nite potassium nitrate fertilizer right at Kmart. I'd put it on my banana plants and it'd make them grow really nice, but what can I say? This world is just a wacky place. All right, let me go over here and where did my comments? Okay, we got it here. There we go. All right, and the comments have picked up. Yes, they do. So we have some more comments here, and where have you been? Internet challenges again? No? Okay. Okay, that's for someone else, not me, thankfully. Beef tallow, baking soda, brush teeth. I have done that too. Lard is more available, and beef tallow does tend to be harder. I love that commercial. I guess you must like the cigar commercial. Yes, definitely a 1950s kind of thing, or early 60s. Something I got from the Internet Archive. No internet since the 12th. Wow, okay. Yes, I do need to make the video. I have more ashes. I'm going to make it as well. I wouldn't use it. Well, I use it all the time. I've ordered Starlink. I'm waiting for a satellite dish to ship. Well, Elon's internet should be pretty good. One part engineer, one part chemist. Love that you make your own soap. Yes. Rick, please post a link where I can order those 15-cent Santa Fe cigars. Well, tell you what, in the world we're going, the only way you're going to be able to get cigars that cheap is to plant tobacco in your yard and start making your own cigars. Uh-oh. Here comes the star of the show. What? Brr. I love that little sound you make. Come here, baby. Come on, little Milton. He's a little monster. Look at this. Oh, you're so solid. You're getting heavy. Oh, you're so cute. Uh-oh. Oh, no. No. We don't do that. No business today. Come here, baby. Gizzy. Bruno, look at that face. Look at those teeth. Oh, so cute. I love you so much. I love my Milton. He's cute. Yes, he do. He's such a good little Milton. He's so soft. I love you, Milton. What a nice little kitten I have. What a gorgeous kitten. Look at that beautiful Milton. He's a dangerous wild animal. Look at that. I can't see you. We'll tilt this down a little bit. There we go. There's Milton. Look, see, there's my baby. Yeah, he's cutie. Yeah. Hey, Milton. You are the cutest kitty I've ever seen. Yes, you are. You're a nice kitty. You're getting strong. Look at those legs. You are a strong cat. Cute, eating raw meat. That's what happens when you eat meat, you cute little thing. Yeah, you're not Pottinger's cats. You're Rick's cat. And you're the most popular one on this show. I think that's one of the reasons why people watch this. They don't want to watch me. They want to watch you, Mr. Milton. Well, Gary, we'll have to figure out the Santa Fe cigar. There you go. You can be a cool 50s guy smoking your Santa Fe cigar. Whatever you do, don't smoke El Explodo brand. I've heard you'll get a bang out of that one. Or Atom cigars like Bugs Bunny has. You're probably doing a lot more reading lately. Yes, Rick is sort of a mad scientist of sorts. Yes, I am. I'm a bit of a mad scientist. Except my hair's not that messy. Internet was U.S. Cellular being combined with T-Mobile. Blackout. Yeah, that can happen. Which sometimes works strong like right now, but I can't do anything with uploading. Okay. Love these pics. Well, there you go. Yeah, well, I have them always at the beginning. That's how the live stream starts. Baby pictures of Rick and Mom. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Love homemade soap. I want to try your toothpaste. It makes, yeah, it does. Look at my teeth. For being as crooked and broken as they are, they're pretty white. None of my friends have teeth that white, even when they use teeth whitening things. And the last time I went to a dentist was 1986. It's going to be 40 years. It would be June of 86. I went to the dentist just before my birthday because that's when my health insurance would expire for dental when I turned 18. So just before I turned 18, sometime in June, it will be 40 years since I've been in a dentist office. And I hope that I'll be dead before I even have to think about dentistry. I'm going to be a crazy person to go to college at 36 online full time. Well, 36 isn't that old. You bake the regular baking soda, make washing soda. Yes, that is true. But it takes a lot of time in the oven. But yes, you can buy sodium bicarbonate and make sodium carbonate washing soda, although the chemical formula is not exact. But yeah, that's how you do it. I know everything already. That is my excuse for not doing that. Okay. My cigar man. Yes, he loves his cigars. And when he was at Mitch's, he was enjoying his cigar as well. That is why the movie Idiocracy is now categorized as a documentary. Yes. And what was the president? It was Terry Crews or whatever. I forget what they called him. But I know when they went to Costco, they said, "Welcome to Costco, I love you." That was a weird movie. I think you do. Brondo, it has electrolytes. I wouldn't change a thing. Rick had to wash his homemade soap off with commercial soap Make it make sense. Well, I didn't use commercial soap. I used water because it was sort of burning my hands. Sometimes you have to put vinegar on it when it's way too alkaline. Milton, yes. Do you still have your tobacco plant? May have some medicinal value. You know what? I had them, but what happened was when I had the ducks love to eat tobacco. I think they're addicted to it. The ducks attacked my tobacco garden. I left the door open because you get these big caterpillars that eat the tobacco, and the ducks go crazy for them. So when I had the ducks here, somehow the gate was left open, and they devastated my tobacco plants. They stripped them down to nothing. No wonder the ducks were acting all weird. And then, for some reason, they didn't reseed. I guess the ducks must have eaten all the seeds because tobacco normally has millions of little tiny seeds, and they never came back. So I lost my tobacco patch. But, on the other hand, I do have a stockpile of seeds somewhere. They're like grains of sand. They're so small. They come in those little capsules. So, yeah. And I've used it as a headache remedy. It works quite well. He's a beautiful baby. Yes, not a baby anymore, but he is beautiful. I have to pick up the kids. I can't travel unless I want to work from home. Oh, where did my comments go? Wow. Okay. Insurance online school it is. Okay. Now I get to see if I don't flunk the first term. Well, I hope that you can get through it. What a sweet kitty is. Next it'll be chewing out his ankles that he'll have to Febreze him. Well, I use the window cleaner. Or I use the air freshener. Either one. He sees the spray can now. He runs away because he knows what's coming. I mean, Airwick, as Rick is old school. Yeah. I think that was Glade or whatever. Is this floating around here somewhere? Intriguing emails for Rick. Well, there you go. I wish I had lovely yellow eyes like Milton's. Yes. I have a box of those cigars in my attic. I'll sell you for 50 cents a piece. As soon as you light them, they go poof. My teeth have gotten so much stronger now. They were pretty bad when I started. You know, before I was carnivore, I couldn't eat ice cream or drink cold things because it make my teeth hurt. Now I chew on ice. They don't bother me. So that's one of those interesting things that happen. Become an alcoholic and then you'll get yellow eyes. I don't drink and I hate weed. Well, that's good. How'd your teeth get broken? Junior high school fight. I got into a fight and we were using garbage cans as a shield. Those metal garbage can lids, and I got hit with the garbage can lid and it broke my tooth. How white your teeth? Oh, I meant to compliment you on how white your teeth are when we were talking about them in the interview. This is what teeth look like with no coffee, no tea, and no duck food for 40 years. Yes, that is very true. And they haven't been cleaned at a dentist since 1986. Hepatitis C does that to the eyes. Okay. How will you get yellow eyes then? CV, hey Barry from Gary. Gary says hi to Barry. Speaking of Barry, I haven't heard anything about Dr. Barry, but that's one of those carnivore walled garden groups. Hoping my eyes turn blue like yours from carnivore. Still waiting. There you go. My eyes were blue until I was 15. Then they turn a pretty green. Well, there you go. And thank you. I've seen cats with green eyes. They shine brighter on carnivore. Yes, they do. Definitely clearer. I will have to continue to endure. My diet is on point. Currently fat burning for the win. Nice. I like that. Yeah, okay. I'm done. From 139 about 9 days ago to 132.6 this morning. Awesome. My cat acts like a snake. Milton will always be a baby to me. Well, he was a baby. Yes. Okay. How long to grow a fruit tree to a size where it can be sold? Depends on the tree. When it comes to tropical fruits, when you're thinking about avocados and mangoes, it's going to take, well, you have to plant the seed. You got to wait a couple of years before you can graft it. And then probably you would have to wait another 2 years before it takes. and is big enough to sell. But of course, the longer you wait and the larger it gets, more money you can get up to a point. I would give it 5 years from the time it starts as a seed to the time that it's ready for market. Although you can accelerate that process, you could do it in 3 years, but it wouldn't be as good a quality. Just for the cheaper wholesale stuff, maybe 3 years. Dr. Barry just got back from a conference in Vegas. No, I'm not in his group. Okay, so I know they had some kind of conference in Vegas. I can't keep up with all the events, but again, I don't travel. Unless somebody's nice enough to make arrangements, I'm not going to go and travel. Let's see. Okay. I think I've got all the comments. That's really awesome. Now, I guess Amy's doing her live. Let me see how many people I have on my live. I have 46 watching right now, so that's actually pretty good. I'll just show you the scene here. And there we go. Live at 8 with Rick is, see, we have 45. So it's decreasing. Now, when it comes, look, they've recommended Amy over here, so we'll just click on that. And let's see, she's got 15 watching, I think. Hold on. Let's go for this. I don't know how long they're going to go, but yeah. So I see some of you are in both of them. It takes some talent to be in both chats. That's pretty good. But yeah, okay, let's see if we can get more. Let's see if we can get her to 20. We got 19 right now. If you want, you can go ahead and click on hers. That way she'll get her views up. I'm going to start winding down. You see, we got 20 now. Her views are going up. That's really good. And I believe Amy is monetized, so you could go over there. Maybe you'll get her some more advertising revenue. So let's check it out. And again, if you don't know who Christy Meeting Wellness is, let me just show you a little something you might like. Okay, there we go. There should be, yeah, see, we got another 2 people on her channel, so we got about 22 total right now. That's not too bad. 7, oh. Okay, we got 7. That's good. But anyway, okay, let me just show you a little something here. And we have several videos. And there we go. If you look way back in her videos, you can see she used to do videos with John Laspina. This guy looks familiar. I don't know. Carnivore diet, mental health, beef stories. He looks familiar. Okay, and then see, she was with, before he got all the tattoos. And let's see. Where is that video? I know they go way back. 2 years ago. Way back. Okay. There it is. Rick's Heart Attack Chicken. 2 years ago. Look at that. So Rick's Heart Attack Chicken. I don't trust that Rick guy. There we go. Let's see. They give me an advertisement for Metro Day Transit. I might be the only person here that rides on that. That's how I started my trip to Melbourne. That, Tri-Rail, and then Pretzel Pete. Skip that. But there it is. How long ago was this? It was November 22, 2023. Yeah, that's about right. That's about the time that my truck died. But anyway, you can see that she makes Heart Attack Chicken. And Got the gas stove. No poop gas, but it is definitely heart attack good. And there's the chicken. Delicious. Greasy stove was worth it. There you go. But it'll keep your stove from rusting out. But anyway, that's an example of some of the older videos. And let's see. Oh. Okay. Huh. Got some interesting comments as well. So, anyway, if you get a chance, you might want to check out her channel while they have the live going on. We'll see how much longer my live goes on. We can always slow this down. Let me hit these comments because they've come in strong again. Rick smiles like an alligator. Yes. Probably have crooked teeth like an alligator too. Apple orchard. I love fruit, but it hates me. I'm allergic to apples. They give me diarrhea. I was over there too. I can't be in both. They're talking mostly about healing from menopause. Okay. That's a women's thing. And that gaining weight on carnivore can be healing. Well, that's also good to know. Will any stone fruit thrive in Florida where your lot is located? Does it grow any faster in tropical? I mean, technically, there's really nothing that's like that. I mean, a mango does have a large seed in it, but I don't think it's a stone fruit. Peaches don't grow here very well. And all that other northern stuff, the humidity will kill it. But I'm feeling good about her move. Good girl talk on Amy's live right now. There we go. What about citrus trees? Yes, I have orange, lime, and calamandan trees here. I've shown them in my videos. But yes, the citrus survived the citrus canker, and I hid them from the state when they tried to cut them down. Although finally, somebody had a lawsuit, and they got money out of it. So in a way, I wish they would have cut it down and get more money. Good night, darlings. I had fun. Love you so much. Well, Annabella, glad you were here, and I hope you can sleep well. Testing my new CP. Looks like it's working fine. Well, that's good. She loves it on the lake. Thank you for asking. She's coming up to visit in April. Yes. Rick has a nice smile, nice set of teeth. I'm switching over to that Terry Rick toothpaste today. That's smart. I want my teeth that white. It's funny because I put almost no effort into it. Bart is green. Hello, good buddy friend. Well, hello. I've never seen your name before, but I'm glad that you are here. And good night, Annabella. How long to grow large enough for market? Depends on your soil conditions, weather conditions, or so on. If you were to plant a mango tree from a seed, graft it, and do all that, it's going to be at least 5 years before you have any marketable fruit, and it may be 10 years before you get enough to really make it worth your while. Avocados, same thing. Those are the biggest sellers down here. Citrus is just too many diseases. Citrus is very difficult to grow now because all the monoculture and all the imported fruit brought disease in here and wrecked it. Probably the easiest fruit to grow down here is bananas. If I plant bananas, I can have fruit by the end of the year. You will get fruit after the first year, and the thing about bananas, they always produce consistently if they're healthy. So whether it's a new banana plant or an old cluster, they will produce bananas on a regular basis. But because bananas are so consistent, it's hard to compete with the cheap crap that comes from Central and South America. Okay, I think I have a GBF, good buddy friend. Well, there you go. I'm in South Carolina. Many types of tropical stone fruit, avocado, or citrus can thrive. Yes, we have a bunch of avocados here. The best avocados, I think, are in Florida. They're better than California. California tends to have a drier climate that favors more of the Hass-type avocados. The large ones that take a lot of water, such as the Russell and the Choquette, they are more of a Florida thing. And again, if anybody wants to know about avocados or mangoes, don't look at my channel. Look for Tom Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. This is your best source for information on mangoes and avocados, and Monstera deliciosa, if you know what that is. It's basically an ornamental plant, but he actually does grow them. And his wife, she had health conditions that she has been able to get over, He has a healthy family. They're a good, friendly, and healthy group of people that are enjoying their life. He went from the corporate world to the world of growing tropical fruit. And I'm glad we have him. We still have a few people left that are growing fruit, that are not growing apartments. And I'd rather see avocados than apartments. They both start with A, but one of them is something I like. And best of all, on the avocado grove, one of the biggest pests they have is squirrels. And they have issues with iguanas, with the mangoes. So for those of us that love carnivore, having an avocado or mango farmer nearby is a benefit because you can go squirrel hunting or iguana hunting and come home with delicious meats. Can't go wrong with that, can you? Nah, of course not. All right. Good morning, carnivores from Goose Creek, South Carolina. Good morning, Rick. Well, good morning. And I'd love to have a tasty goose, but it's been a long time since I ate goose. Delicious goose. They're very tasty. Egyptian goose, I've only had them once, but they were also tasty. Tastes like duck. A friend I pick up to go to church. Back in the day, we were acid buddies. Okay, interesting. I think you have many here, DS1. Everyone seems to love you. Yes. Hi, Rick. I am a carnivore from Malaysia. Well, trust is Iris Lee, the homestay. I'm glad that you're here. And Malaysia, that's definitely a carbohydrate-heavy place. So if you're a carnivore over there, that's a good thing. And I hope you can set the example for other people. Maybe get more people into the carnivore lifestyle. Life before the new life. Well, there you go. Because of your possible future plans. Well, definitely, if I do move to my lot, and even if I don't, if I decide to keep it, I might turn it into a nursery to get the taxes down, or I may put a fruit grove in there. Depends on where I finally live. But the way I'm looking, most likely I will. I started building a house there almost about 25 years ago. I have a foundation. I may go ahead and finish the house, and then I might live there for a while. I might like it there, or I might move. Who knows? But the main thing is I'm going to have a lot more space to work with. There's 5 acres on that lot, and it's definitely mostly tropical. There are some cold days, but we can do tropical. We did have some cold weather a few weeks ago, but I can definitely do tropical over there. We'll see. But if I do that, it's either going to be a little pasture, and I'll probably have some pasture area anyway. There is cattle being produced in that area. So if I make enough friends with the cattle farmers, I might be able to get myself the entire cow. And then when you get a cow, it's going to be like I do with the ducks. You know, when I grab Mr. Ducky, I don't cook him immediately. I get him and I fatten him up. So I want to have some tropical fruit. So when I get my cow, I can fatten him or her up. Hopefully it'll be a steer, but if it's, you know, a female cow, they're edible. A lot of times you get one of the old dairy cows, they're very cheap, and they don't have a lot of meat on them because they're dairy cows. So once they stop producing milk, what the farmers used to do here, they would feed them sugarcane and tropical fruit. There's a lot of sugarcane over there, and I even grow it here. And basically, I need to have some fruit trees to grow the tropical fruit, which I can also give to my friends. It'll give some of my friends an excuse to come over and visit, to drive the 1.5 to 2 hours from Miami. Come on down. Pick some avocados. Pick some mangoes. Pick some bananas. And whatever they don't eat, I'll give it to my cow until my beef or cow is fattened up nicely. And then, now I can't use the duck guillotine. I'll have to come up with another way to take out the animal. And then I'm going to need a hoist. I'm going to need a cooler. I'll set up for it. I'll get the materials I need. I can buy one of those restaurant coolers, either from a supermarket or restaurant that goes out of business. Get that. And I'll set up for my own processing. Why do I hear a noise? I guess that's a mailman drove by, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Let me get some more of these comments. I wouldn't mind some squirrel now. Well, Squirrel stew or deep fried squirrel. Deep fried squirrel is actually very good. Get some beef tallow or lard and fry up that tasty little squirrel. Delicious. Better than chicken. Easy to skin, easy to cook. There's nothing like squirrel stew. Making me hungry. Squirrels and rabbits can cause havoc in the garden. Yes, and you can also make a rabbit stew or fried rabbit. Someone lied to me and said it was chicken. Well, there you go. It'd be fun to watch on your channel if you picked up with that house build development of your land. Yes, and I need to fix my old bulldozer sitting at my friend's lot. I need to fix that and take it over there. If I do build on the lot, I'll be taking stuff over there. I'll have to set up internet on the lot anywhere so I can keep an eye on stuff so nobody steals anything. And, it might take 10 years. Well, whatever time it takes, the more money I make, the faster it'll be. That's the thing. Special breed of land that requires no shearing. Let's see. I'm not going anywhere now. How about you? There we go. The best things take time. That is true. I think I'm going to outlive everybody I know because of carnivore. Well, that's a good thing. Would you raise quail? I have. I've raised quail in the past. You're only in your 50s now, right, or 60s. You have plenty of time given your diet. I am 57. I will be 58 in June. So, yes, I do have plenty of time. And my dad and I did build a house when he was in the same age range. So it's not that hard to do. All right. I am 62 with the mental age of 16. There we go. Well, it looks like I have caught up with the comments, and it's about 11 o'clock, so that's good. Let's see how many people we still have in the live stream, and if I look... Okay. Vegan friends. Okay, I don't see that here. Huh. Interesting. No big deal. Anyway, let's see. Huh. All right, there we go. I get a lot of comments from the channels that I comment on. Let's see. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Carnivore diet? Yes. 45. Okay, you can do it too. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day. You have your bike back in service? I do. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. This was the inner tube from my bike. Now, as you know, my friend, who I haven't seen on here in a while, sent me new tires for my bike, and I put new inner tube when I put the tires on. Well, let me show you how many patches I've had in this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there was 6 patches, but the 6th patch I put on there, it failed. Here it is. This was the hole I patched, and this was another hole. So what ended up happening, I fixed one hole, and then I rode the bike. I went to the store and back, and when I was in the house, I heard psst. Tire was flat again. And I think what happened, because one of these times when I went flat, I think I rode on the flat too long, and it caused this damage to the internal part of the tube. This was from rubbing against the spoke things. So this inner tube is garbage. I went to Walmart to get another inner tube. They have a bike shop around the corner. But that bike shop, those people, I think they're selling crack on the side. They have bikes that start at like $1,000. They have bikes that sell for $5,000. I told the guy, if I'm going to spend $5,000, I'm going to buy a used Bobcat. I'm not going to buy a bike. I mean, seriously. A bike? You imagine chaining that thing up at the Walmart? It'll be gone so fast it'll make your head spin. But when I went to Walmart, they sell bikes for $110. Yeah, that's a disposable bike. Why would anybody buy an expensive bike? I just don't get it. So I went there. They were out of 26-inch tubes. But this is one of those times when being 6'6" makes a difference. They have that top shelf at Walmart, and I found this. So basically what I was able to do, I was able to get an inner tube. They only had one of them. It must have been an open box or something, but it was a brand new inner tube. And for $4.87, I put a new inner tube. So the bike is fixed. It's ready to go at any time. But I do have the other bike, which I have 3 bicycles. 2 of them have dry rotted tires. The other one has good bike, but whatever. But yeah, I have 3 bikes. So when my tire went flat, I used the other bike to go to Walmart. I made the video, which I uploaded. You're welcome to see it. Everything here is kind of an open book. I didn't make the video on the way back home. I made the video there because on the way back home, it was getting dark. And it wouldn't have been much of a video anyway. So that's pretty good. Oh, wow. A lot of comments. I believe in you. Well, Rick's bike is always running on a thread. I ran over one of my girls' bikes this week in a repairable way. If I run over my bike with my truck or van, it's not going to be repairable. The inner tube did a great job. Well, it did for a while. Non-repairable. That sounds familiar. Yeah. One time, I had a tree fall on my bike. We had a hurricane. It was either Wilma or Katrina in 2005. I had my bike up on the kickstand. I don't know why it was sitting out in the yard. And one of the trees fell over and it twisted it around the tree. So the whole bike was twisted like a pretzel, like Pretzel Pete would do. It was terrible. I'm back. Amy just kicked off her live stream. Kicked me off her live stream. Okay. Are you serious? For not being fast. There we go. Maybe she just ended it. Okay, so she did end her live stream. All right. Well, you can always watch the replay if you like. But again, there's nothing wrong with popping in and out in somebody else's live stream, especially when mine goes on forever. Yes, that sounds right. Okay. Bike shop should carry a thin plastic strip you put between them. Well, that was not damaged. The thing is, the strip was not damaged. And besides, what I do, I actually take rubber electrical tape, the stuff that they use to wrap the wires with, and I wrap mine with that. The problem, I think, came when I rode my bike and the tire went flat, and I was still riding, I think, because it was around where the valve stem is. So the tube, when you pedal a bike and the tire goes flat, the tire slips and it stretches that out. And I think that's what happened. It made it weak. So that's one of those things. The dog man would probably send you an e-bike. He donates them all the time. I don't know who that is, and I doubt anybody would donate anything to me other than my wonderful subscribers. Cast GM. Where's your buddy Big John? They make those, but they make the bike feel heavy. Okay. I used to have a wonderful bike. It was stolen right off my porch. That was a sad day. I guess I never thought people were so bad. And my bike sits on the porch. Thankfully, people are afraid to come in my yard, so no one's ever taken that. Dog doesn't donate to cat rescues. There you go. That's funny. Well, that's her heavy too. Yeah, right? Back from Amy's channel. Hey, I see. I guess she ended hers pretty quickly. Well, she's got stuff to do, so I think that's why it ended. Make them run flats. Put foam in the tube. In my old bike, you know what I used? I used pipe insulation. I put pipe insulation inside the tube. The problem was sometimes it would like slip, so the tire was kind of like slipping around the rim. Every time that I would pedal fast, it would slip, and once in a while it would come off. I was riding my bike. I was probably going 20 miles an hour real fast, and that thing popped out the side, and it caught in the back wheel, and it just like unraveled, and the bike was on the rim, and I was skidding around on the sidewalk. It was pretty scary, but that's okay. That's true. No cats. Maybe it can be swayed. That's funny. I'm just slow to respond. There we go. 1950s style green bike. Barbie dolls and the spokes of the wheels and a lovely front rim basket. I biked everywhere on that. Well, there you go. I love old-fashioned bikes. Yeah, I do too. I remember replacing inner tubes on my Stingray bikes many times. I had the Sears version of it. I was too poor for the fancy Stingray, so I had the Ted Williams banana seat bike with a slick rear tire. That thing was kind of fun. Some neighborhoods, kids have to go a long way just to get a damn donut. Dogman and Rick could be good buddies. I got to find out who that is. Or Ice Cream DS111. Avatar on Christmas. I was sad to lose my candy apple Stingray. Someone cut my lock off and took it. Unbelievable. Didn't you put screws in tire to rim? No, I didn't. I actually did put screws in, but what happened was they pulled out of the tire. I never really, what I should have done was put like, nuts or something, like maybe inside, but the screws pulled out. They just always came out of the tire. Seriously considering starting an ice cream truck with a catchy tune to pull all the kids out of their homes. They'd be too lazy to move now. I've had a few 70s bikes. Yeah, there you go. That's funny. All right. So, I guess... What is that noise? Somebody's driving by with a boom boom car. I think Rick would like Dogman too. I don't know who Dogman is. That's interesting. Anyway, so let's see how our live stream is going. Let me go back here to YouTube. Close. I got too many windows open. We'll close that, and we'll close that, and let's see. Okay. There we go. Wow. I still have 50 people watching. It's amazing. How in the world could anyone want to spend their day watching a quack like me? Let's see. Okay. All right, let's silence that sound. All right, so it is still working. That's a good thing. And speaking of celebrities, Rockin' Coach Amy is back. So you had a pretty quick live stream over there. And I'm still blabbing away. And we have a hello. Everybody loves Amy. Look at that. One after the other. I hope that everyone was able to watch hers if you wanted to. But I think it was about women things. So that was more of a women's chat. Us guys, we hang out here with the Total Quack. Nice to see you partnering with Christy today. Yes. And again, Christy of Meeting Wellness was the second person on YouTube, if I remember correctly, to try Rick's Heart Attack Chicken. And of course, Amy was the first person to document the creation of Rick's heart attack burger. And one of these days, we'll all be doing Rick's Pacemaker Pizza. Once food becomes affordable again, and then I can encourage everyone to go out and make it, because if you like pizza, you're going to find my pizza the best. Another one that I need to do, which is cheap to make, are my coronary cluckers. Coronary cluckers are Rick's version of the McNugget. So instead of a McNugget, you can have a coronary clucker, which is basically whatever chicken you have, white meat, dark meat, whatever, blend it up with some kind of fat, typically some kind of cream, and then you're going to have it sort of fried up with pork rinds on the outside, higher calories, higher fat. It's going to give you a coronary. But then again, I think the McDonald's will probably give you the real coronary. This is an imitation, sort of a fantasy. It's like fantasy football, except it's fantasy heart attack. That's a good thing right there. Why have fantasy football when you can have a fantasy heart attack? It's the big one. Oh, I'm coming to join you, honey. All right, let's see. Nice to see you. Okay. All right. Thank you. See? Amy had good attendance. More than 20 people. It was a good stream, Amy. I'll have to check that out later on. Thanks, Terry girl. Amy, looks like Dennis may be feeling better. Good question. Rick and Dogman are slowly convincing me that I'd be happier living alone and having a simpler life. Well, I got to find out who this Dogman is. Mike is loving Arkansas and peace. There you go. Saw he was commenting in the video. Yes. Skinless, boneless thighs make good McNugget. Yes, they do. Fantasy heart attack. That is correct. Well, what in the world is Dogman? Let's see. All right. All right. Does this work? Let's see. And that's not working. Okay. Oh, I'm using the wrong keyboard. Duh. All right. Let's see. Dogman is a movie. I don't see Dogman channel. Oh, here we go. Dogman's Mountain Workshop. That must be who it is. Dogman's Mountain Workshop. Oh. I don't know. Maybe? Well, whoever it is, I can tell you right now, does sound interesting. The Dogman. Dogman happens to be carnivore. Okay. Well, why have I not heard of him? Dennis is starting to feel better, and we have a hello from Amy and the Dogman. Okay. Happens to be carnivore. All right, let's see. Okay. There we go. 42,000 subscribers. Okay. Dogman. I think I may have seen this channel before. Yes, I have. I think I may have commented on it. Let me see. Maybe not. But real reason nobody wants to work anymore. Okay. Interesting. You'll never quit drinking. Okay. All right. Interesting. Rural life realities. Waiting for propane. Why would anybody need to buy propane? I mean, come on. Strawberry poop gas sets you free from propane. You don't have to call Hank Hill. You can call Rick. I'll teach you how to make strawberry poop gas. That's good stuff. He has 3 channels. Okay. I got to make another channel myself. I'm going to be making a channel where I put the edited videos once I can sit around long enough. A lot of times when I sit at the computer, I've been working, and my assistant, he has to try to help. So he's going to have his paws all up, attacking my hands, getting into everything. I notice on a live stream, though, he's usually pretty good about leaving me alone. So that's the problem. Is usually in the morning I'm not here. I'm either outside working around the house. I have to admit, I'm rarely in the house. My electric bill went down to $100 this month because I've been out doing so many side jobs, which is kind of interesting. The more time I spend at home, the higher my electric bill is. It can go up to $130 a month. But right now, I don't think it'll ever be below $90 because they raise the rate. But, who knows? And again, there are ways to lower your electric bill that I won't talk about. Beautiful healing spring day, yes. Kids are up. I must leave you now from my 1-bar signal living room. Cannot bring you to the kitchen anymore. Okay, that's fine. Keep up the love and support, you all. I hope you have and I guess, there we go. Very nice. I love the ones about he doesn't like to date women anymore. Those are so funny. I can relate to that. Eat the meat, eat the fat, my friends. Yes, I agree. You don't have to be sick and tired. That is correct. I believe in you. Well, I do too. I believe in myself as well. As far as I can stand up and not have a heart attack. I love those. Carnivore diet, you can do it too. I believe in you. Ketovore and keto, that is good too. I believe in you. Excellent. Well, we appreciate the encouragement, and everybody needs encouragement from time to time. Bye, Rick. Keep up the good work. Well, I will be here until I have that heart attack and I fall over. Who knows? When I have my heart attack, I may actually survive, but I hope I don't. When I have the big one, I hope that it is final and that I just fall over and don't have to think about anything. I'll never have to go to the hospital, skip the middleman, go straight to the morgue. That's what they say. That was Benny Hill say, skip the middleman. Call the undertaker. Don't call the hospital. Yeah. All right, so let's see how our attendance is, and let's see if we need to go ahead and wrap this up because it's been all morning. I have 48 watching right now, according to what I can see. So let's check this out together. We have 48, which is actually really good. I have some pretty good participation, and here I am in the corner. It all depends on the order that I click the scenes. If I click the scene between cameras, it'll put my little window, and you can see me over here. And if I don't click, if I click from, let's say, the webcam directly to the scene, it doesn't put me in there. So it's a hardware issue. Something I work with. No big deal. Anyway. Oh, excuse me. I'm getting hungry for lunch. I have some frozen pork shoulder that's been thawing in the refrigerator. So hopefully it'll thaw enough where I can cut part of it off and start cooking. I got to call up my friend and see if he's ready to start moving. He's been working all morning, I'm sure. So he'll go and I guess somebody will have to pick me up and take me over there, and we'll take that compressor apart, and I'm going to help him try to move whatever I can. And hopefully he'll have everything packed up by tomorrow because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and that's not a good day to have to move stuff. So anyway, let me go back to the scene here, and let's wrap up these comments and see how everybody's doing today. I think we had a very good live stream. We always do. I can almost guarantee the Dogman will entertain you. I will have to check that out. If anybody knows him, let him know that there is a crazy carnivore that is a Charger Mopar guy and loves cats. By Amy, there we go. I've been following. Yes, that's where I've seen him. Quachita Multiliving, and I have commented on that. So it is the same person. Yes, I know who that is now. I just didn't know Dogman. I love how you enjoy his perspective being a Cali girl. Yes. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. And I knew that face was familiar. Anyway, excellent, excellent day. And it looks like I still have 50 people watching, which is pretty amazing. I remember when I had trouble keeping 4 people in my live stream. And you know what? I haven't even clicked my own like. So let me go back over here. And we're going to click, because I only have 54 likes. So let's go ahead and click that like to get up to 55. Arrive alive, drive 55. I have 47 people watching right now. And again, I always put my phone number here. If you want to call in during the live stream is ending, so we won't be answering the phone. But I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, only black screen Rick. Black screen, let me see. No. Okay, let me double check here what's going on. No, it's showing me. Sometimes it gets a black screen in between. That happens. Okay, there we go. Let me go back to the comments and let's, as they say, let's crash this plane. All right. That's what would happen if I was a pilot. We don't land, we crash. Me too. Eat a ham bone, yes. I think he was in Mitch's chat one day a long time ago. Okay. All right. And I see, black screen. Yes. Nice sunny day here, but only 32 degrees. Well, that's good. It's okay now. Yeah, it does have a little bit of a delay. Grass is greening up good after the thunderstorm. Well, that's great. We like having rain. And again, tomorrow it should be quite stormy here. I may need to check for more roof leaks. I definitely keep the containers out. There we go. Free chili out. I can't drive 55 and always arrive alive. Well, when I'm on the bike, I can't drive 55 because I can't exceed 20. So that is one thing. And there we go. So anyway, I think we're going to, I got 50 people again, or did it go up? It couldn't have gone up. I think it's just YouTube delay that's over here. We have, yeah, we do have 50. That's amazing. But anyway, we don't want to be here all day. Now, if it would be a rainy day and I couldn't do anything and I still had power and I had internet. One time, remember, I had to run on a generator because the power went out and I started the generator and I logged back in. But in the rainy season, if we get a day when it's raining a lot, we had a couple of 12-hour live streams. It happens. But in a nice day like this, when there's work to do, I have a friend that's moving. I'm not going to let my friend down. And we're going to end this live stream. And I really hope that everybody enjoyed the day. I enjoyed having you here. And again, if you want to see more of me, I'm going to join in on the Carnivore Talk live stream starting at 8 on Monday. And Tuesday night at 8:30 is Keto Cookout with Russ, Mitchell, and Rick. Although I don't say much, Russ does most of the talking. The guests come in. They do a lot of the talking. I do all my talking today. But if you want to come in and do the talking, come into one of those shows. Carnivore Talk or Russ's Keto Cookout. And again, next Saturday, unless something comes up, I will be here. There is a possibility that I may not have a live next Saturday because there's like a very big sort of get-together at a friend's place that they're going to do. I don't know when it's going to start. It usually starts around the afternoon. But on the other hand, it might start in the morning. So let's see what happens on that day. But for now, check out Monday and Tuesday, and I may pop up. You never know when somebody wants to interview me. Or, as if you're one of the carnivore grifters, you may interview me and then delete the interview. So that is a possibility. Whenever you see somebody interview me and the interview disappears, be very suspicious of that person because their motivation may not be wholesome. I'm not saying it's definite. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Because anyone that knows me knows that I'm a friendly guy, and if you try to ignore me, well, that means you're probably a devious individual. So a little something to think about. So comment-wise, we got Brian Dish says, everyone have a nice day, eat meat. Excellent. BK waves goodbye. Terry Girl is saying hello to Beat. And you too, Brian. Bye, everyone. Nice and sunny. Here but chilly, yes. Terry Girl says, thanks, Rick. Bye, everyone. Eat ahead. So, yeah, there we go. Bye, Rick. Carpe diem. Yes, that is correct. Let's make the day count. Have a great day, everyone. From me to Hambone. Well, great that you were here. And Lady June. Thanks, Rick. Bye, all. And to all 44 that are watching, I will see you. Well, I might see you tomorrow morning, because if I'm here and I'm not moving my friend, I'll probably pop into Dr. Kiltz's live. He usually has it at 10 Eastern Standard Time. So if it's on and I happen to be here, I will drop in. But otherwise, I'll see you on Monday, Tuesday, and whatever day we happen to be here. And again, if you ever want to talk to me and I happen to be around, just take my phone number, send me a text message, or call my phone, and I will pick up my rotary phone and we will talk. All right? So I'm always around, and you never know where I might pop up in. So thank you, my friends, and I will see you later.